Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new Ike Live. The show is brought to you by some amazing companies, including the presenting sponsor of Ike Live, Mystery Tackle Box MTB. It's like happiness right to your doorstep once a month. Mystery Tackle Box puts brand new lures, hot items in your hand once a month. Listen to me. Use the promo code Ike Live. Get 30% off your first Elite box or 50% off your first Pro box. That's unbelievable. Also brought to you by Tin Cup Whiskey. God, I love whiskey. This is American style whiskey cut with Rocky Mountain water. It's got a classic finish to it. I personally love the rye. It's got a little bit of a bold, spicy finish. You're going to love this stuff. Straight from the Rockies to your glass. Also brought to you by TH Marine, the maker of great marine products, from everything from a John boat to a Biggie Smalls yacht. That's TH Marine. Go to thmarine.com, use the promo code Ike Live, and get $10 off a $50 order or more. Unbelievable. Brought to you by Flambeau, the makers of the best tackle storage systems in the world, including the brand new Crank Bank and Blade Crate. Of course, every single Flambeau tackle storage system has Z-Rust incorporated to help keep your hooks rust-free. Go to flambeauoutdoors.com, use the promo code Ike Live, and get 20% off your entire order. That's unbelievable. Brought to you by Founders Beer. God, I love Founders. I'm such a beer guy, and I like all styles of beer. Founders makes them. I want you to go to foundersbrewing.com, or even better yet, download the Founders app. And by doing that, you can find out what dealer or bar has Founders right near you. Also, they're going to keep you ahead of the curve on brand new beer releases. That's foundersbrewing.com. This show's brought to you by Liquid Mayhem. Scent matters. Listen to me. If you want to catch more fish, if you want to catch bigger fish, try some Liquid Mayhem, put it on your favorite lure, and you're going to get bit. Go to liquidmayhem.com, use the promo code Ike Live. You ready for this? For 25% off your order of the best scent on the market, Liquid Mayhem. Also brought to you by Heshy Socks. That's right, Heshy Socks. Who doesn't love a good, comfortable, well-fitting sock? And guess what? The Ike Live crew had a hand in this, and we've got specially designed Ike-style socks just for you. Cushioned foot and toe, stay-up technology, and they've got a technology built in there where they won't stink. This is unbelievable, okay? Great designs, under $10, with the code Ike Live at heshywear.com. Also, they have Ike Foundation design socks. All proceeds go to the Ike Foundation. Brought to you by Torqeedo Motors, the leader in electric motor drives. If you're one of the guys like me, you have a tiny boat, you have a John boat, you live on an electric-only lake, get a Torqeedo if you want to be the fastest, most efficient boat on the water. Go to torqeedo.com. And last but not least, the Ike Live show is brought to you by Hobie Kayaks. Hobie is the Cadillac of kayaks, and kayak fishing is changing the world. Easy access, easy to get into. I want you to go to Hobie.com to check out their large array of kayak products, including the one that I use, the Hobie 360. Listen to me. Prepare yourself. Get your popcorn. Get your Founder's Beer and Tin Cup Whiskey. Get ready for a brand new Ike Live show coming up live right now. Come on, let's watch. Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new Ike Live, the show. Folks at home, how you doing tonight? I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I know we are. I want to welcome you to a brand new Ike Live show. This could be show 140. I don't know if that's a fact or not.
I'd say that's probably factually incorrect.
It's probably factually incorrect. But regardless, this is a lot of shows we've put on. Want to intro the room real quick. We got a great one for you, by the way. But let me intro the room real quick. Sitting to my left, so glad to have him back in here, the co-host of the show. And you know him. He's the crust of the show. Pete Klusick, the dean. How you doing, Pete?
Thank you. I haven't heard that for too long.
I know. Well, I'm glad to have you back.
It's good to be back. I mean, we roomed together this year.
I want to talk about that.
That was so.
Let's talk about
we
that.
We haven't done that for years.
That felt good.
It did.
That was really nice to be traveling again like that. Felt good. Pushing buttons, making plays tonight. Of course, we've got our two. What would you call them? Two. Give them a name. Playmakers. In with us tonight, Brian Carpenter and Rizzo. How you doing, guys?
Good. Rich is over there.
Riz has just like half head. Oh, there he goes. Here's his full head.
See, me and Brian, we got to get real close.
You know?
All these cameras and we got this.
I know. Well, who knows? This studio is crazy. Guys, it's good to be back for another Ike Live. We had a little hiatus. It's nice to be back. It feels good to be sitting here talking again.
It feels good to have a hiatus.
That's true. Hiatus is good. And I want to put it on you guys. We have a very special guest, friend of ours for a lot of years, but a very special guest, new to a lot of people tonight, with us tonight. Who do we have sitting over here? Bring him over here.
Yakey Yake.
Yeah.
Come on in, Jake.
Jake Haas. Jake Haas in the house with us tonight. And Jake's going to be taking over some of the Ike Live responsibility. Jake, first of all, I want to welcome you.
Thank you.
We've known each other forever. I've known you since you were a small boy. You're not a small boy anymore, but I'm excited to have you and very excited to work with you.
Thank you.
In this capacity.
From our first Winter League.
Yeah. Thousand years ago. Yeah. So
tell Mike you're appreciative.
Yeah. Well,
thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. Well,
shower him with praise.
Here's one thing though. All of our coworkers here at Ike Live have some form of weird, strange nickname. So if you're watching tonight, first thing I want to do as you watch the show tonight, I want to task you with giving Jake a good nickname. We got to have one.
And not the one I got from the Bass Nation.
Not the one from Bass Nation, but we need a good nickname for
you. What was that one?
Easter egg.
Easter egg. I don't like that one anyway.
Easter egg?
I got on the stage behind Mike Wolfenden, who's apparently a regional qualifier many times over.
Yeah.
And John Stewart said after that, I was trying to think of a nickname all day for you, and all I come up with is Easter egg. And I kind of looked over and looked back over again and was like, well, my fish are Easter eggs today. You know, gave him the whole spiel like every person does on stage. But, yeah, I got Easter egg.
All right, I don't like Easter egg. We're going to get something better for you. Pete, we got a good show. So first segment, we're going to be talking with our friends at Mystery Tackle Box. Dude, they've been there from the beginning.
Yes.
Talk about from the beginning of the show. 140, 150 shows, whatever it is.
Yeah.
What an awesome partner all these years. And can't wait to get those guys on the phone. It's going to be a good segment.
We were, Brian and I were talking about this, talking to Ross early on when they were just getting warmed up.
Oh, yeah.
And they were so small.
Yeah.
And they've expanded so greatly.
Oh, it's great.
It's been wonderful, and it's a great product. So much fun. You know, the kids at my house still wrestle over all the baits.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of fun.
It's cool. It's changing. You know, they've changed the way you get tackle, the way you are introduced to lures, the way you are introduced to techniques. They've changed the game a little bit, and I like that. The other thing I like about it, and I don't want to talk too much about it, but they're getting a lot of new people involved in fishing. And I am a big supporter of that. Those guys are doing such a great job, especially now with all these new people fishing because of COVID and young people fishing, doing a great job of getting them involved. So it's great.
It's an awesome gift to give to somebody, you know,
it is a great
has
gift.
Any kind of interest in it. It's really good.
It's a great gift. And we're going to be talking with these guys a little later. then in the second segment, and this is I don't know if I'm nervous or excited, but we have mystery guest or guests
Or guestesses.
coming on. Pete,
That's
do you know
right.
who they are?
I might know.
You
who's
might
coming
know.
on.
So
I might know.
everyone knows apparently except me.
gonna be
That's
good.
right.
Gonna be
Okay.
good.
All right. Well, that's always exciting. So I have no idea. Surprise guest coming in the second segment. And then Brian the Carpenter in the last segment, we will be making a big announcement tonight. And I'm excited about that. Just to let everybody know, Brian, we're not playing any games tonight. We don't have the boop thing or anything like that
That
or
was the best.
static. That was the best. Oh gosh. That was a
You know, and me and you are the only two that think that. But
everyone else hated it.
All the
Dude,
hate
wait,
but it
mail.
was great. Yeah.
when that cut and it timed perfect.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know what I'm doing with this. I
Yeah.
haven't timed nothing right.
Oh, yeah.
And the timing was perfect and it cut and it worked. Shut the show off. Me and you I ran out of producer's box. We did like a
Yeah.
flying chest bump.
High five.
Hell
Doing
yeah.
shots. Like, yes.
And then here comes the hate.
And
Oh,
20
yeah.
minutes ago, we start reading the comments.
Unfollowed. I watched my Facebook number go down like 10,000 followers. Just
Your
like
phone's
a ticket tape.
smoking.
Ding. Oh yeah. Ding. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Ding. Jacob Wheeler doing his dumb ding thing.
Well,
it was great.
I kind of feel like you're doing that. You're on your road to the same thing right now. 'Cause you just said you're going to make an announcement.
going to make an announcement.
Everybody thinks that you're going to make
Well, I'm going
the
to
big
make,
announcement.
Well, let me tell you this, and if you're waiting
Major.
for something that is bigger than big, you might get it, but it is a big announcement. It is a big
Okay.
announcement. I don't want to say what it is, but we will not cut people off tonight. We're actually going to make that announcement in the third segment, so I'm excited about that.
Announcement about what?
I don't want to talk. I don't want to
Well,
talk
I
about
mean,
it.
we haven't even touched upon the fact that you
Well,
qualified for some things.
yeah, it is an announcement about something that big's happening in the business and my life.
Yes.
So that's a good little foreshadowing what we're going to talk about.
Nice foresight.
Double qualified,
Yeah.
actually, Bri.
Might be triple.
Oh,
Could be.
Oh, real quick before we get into some of that stuff, I want to remind everybody, Riz, we're still doing this thing, this
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
thing, aren't we? Okay,
Yep.
listen. If you're
Heavy bag.
watching over on Facebook, all they have to do, Pete, is like and share the feed, right? Like and share the feed. You're going to be entered in a chance to win that. This is the world famous Ike Live gift bag. We'd call it 2021. What would you call it? High call it, Pete. Give it a high call.
Oh, man, a high call?
Yeah.
Like a Iaconelli scale?
Yeah, high call. Give it a high call.
Iaconelli scale, 22.6 pounds.
22.6 pounds of Ike Live products in there.
22.6.
Like and share the feed. You're going to be entered in a chance to win that. And Riz, do me a favor. Remind everybody. Dude, we want to hear from these people, right?
Yep.
What's the deal?
That's right, guys. We got the Ike Live message board up and alive. We want to hear from
Yes.
you. Get the content coming
Yes.
in. If you're watching on Facebook, feed us some comments over there too. And guys, don't forget also we got an Empire cover giveaway that we're going to be announcing at the end of the show as well. And it's not too late. If you haven't seen that post, get over there, comment, tag some friends, and you'll be entered in to win an awesome Empire cover that kept my boat dry all day today through torrential rain, torrential downpours.
Torrential. Yeah, Empire covers are awesome. They make a cover for anything that you've got, dude. John boat, kayak, full-size
Legit.
bass boat.
The
picnic balls.
next hurricane's coming. Get your cover
Yes.
on the boat.
Get your cover. Also want to remind everybody, Brian the Carpenter, we got a beer of the night tonight, and I am thoroughly enjoying this one. This one happens to be a new one for me too, Pete. This is Founders Scarlet Dawn IPA. Not used to seeing Founders in a red can like that. That's a
No.
little strange.
Yeah.
But what a great IPA. I got to say this is tasty. I'm liking
So
this.
it's along the lines of they're all day. It's a session IPA.
Yeah.
High drinkability and
Red can.
Session red is what
Session
they're
red.
calling
So
it.
it's
Yeah.
got some of that malt.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I like it. That's delicious.
Oh, jeez.
It's tasty. Did you hear all that? That's great.
I got to hear it in my sleep tonight.
I know. Let me also, before we start the show, want to thank our military men and women, active veterans. Thank you guys for what you do. It's a crazy world. Our policemen or firemen or EMT or doctors, thank you guys. Still crazy. This world's crazy, Pete. Would hope it'd get back to normal sooner or later, but it's not happening. I do want to pick up the conversation real quick where we did get to travel again this year a little bit. That was so awesome.
That was cool.
Between some of the Toyota series and the Opens, we got
Right.
to spend some time
Oh,
together.
that's right. I
It
forgot.
was nice.
We did the Toyota.
Yeah,
too.
it was
Yeah.
nice. It reminded me of old times.
Yep.
All these years later, does it feel the same? Is there things that have changed? Does it feel like old times?
It felt like things have changed a little bit because let's be honest, the places that we stayed at were a little bit higher than
Nicer.
a little bit nicer than the
Way
places
nicer.
that we used to
Yes,
stay at.
yes,
You know,
yeah.
and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And McGraw was with us.
It was nice to
for
have
the
John
opens,
McGraw
have
with
one
us.
of our buddies with us. But it was, it's just it kind of felt like you were just getting right back into it, like pick up right where we left off.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which was cool. All of us waiting for you to get in off the lake because you're fishing until midnight. And,
Yeah.
Just it's really cool to have those high level conversations.
Yeah.
About fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I miss that part of it. But it just felt like seamless. Like I'm thinking about Thousand Islands, man. Just parking. We all know how to do this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've been doing it so long, making it easy on each other, and hanging around, having dinners was really cool, and it was fun.
It's very cool. It gave me a level of confidence, just in the situation where I'm rooming with people I know, my friends, my buddies. That I feel like I fished better in those 3 opens and the Toyota Series because I had that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I don't know that I would have performed as well if I was by myself, stressed out, and, you got to come back, you got to talk to your buddies, you got to have dinner. Even if it was just cold pizza, you got to.
You're in a comfortable environment. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of let your guard down. You don't got to worry about like, am I leaking bad info in front of somebody that like I don't really know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys talking to each other, you're comparing notes, bouncing ideas off each other. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thousand Islands was a big one because I had a lot of I felt like a lot of pressure in that one to have a good event. And, we really flushed out a lot of some of my decisions. I was influenced by you guys, and I appreciate that.
It was a monumental decision
it was
that
tough,
you had to make.
Tough decision.
My God, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you were it was weighing on you all night.
Yeah. I couldn't sleep that night.
I could imagine.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I'll never forget the morning, Riz, the morning of. We're getting ready for takeoff. My number is about to be called, and Mike's coming over. Which way should I go?
Left or right? Left or right?
I go left or right?
Yeah.
And that was that was awesome.
Yeah.
And you made that decision coming out of the checkout, man.
Yeah,
and it was the right call.
I made it. Gone out of the checkout. Like literally had not made up my mind until they called my number.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing because Brian, I think you've drawn some guys before that they don't know what they're doing. And I hate that because I like structure and I like plan. But I really didn't know. And they called my number and I went out there and I'm like, left or right, left or right, left or right. And it was just, there were more things on the right that made sense than the left.
Yep.
And that's ultimately what made me make that decision and turn right. And it was a good decision.
And, because we were talking about it and you were, my call was go right. That was my call for you.
Yeah.
But here's my secret. I knew whichever call I said you were going to make the cut. That was.
Well, thank you for that vote of confidence.
Well, it was because I knew if you went to the lake, you were gonna be able to get around them out there because I had been out there. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew that they were there, and it just was the amount. You would get 20 there. You're in.
Yeah.
So if you landed on them, you could get 25.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I felt like either way you went, you were in.
Yeah.
But I could just read it in your mannerisms and the way you were feeling and thinking and talking about stuff. You had that area wired, and you had that super long day.
Yeah, super long day.
That was the right call.
It was safe.
What time were you guys getting sent out for those days where you're checking in at 7:30 p.m.?
In the opens,
it seems like 7:30.
Yeah, in the opens,
awesome.
it was pretty much safe light, but they had so many flights that's why you saw those late weigh-ins.
I mean, that's what are you getting, a 11-hour tournament day?
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
damn about.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's half as long as our practice days.
Yeah.
Well, they do it differently. Like the BFLs are the MLF style. They you go through boat check. And then everybody gets in line and your number gets called. So the numbers get called really fast. So 200 boats can literally be discharged in about 20 minutes. That's about all it takes on the BF. Now, the Bassmasters do it differently. You go through boat check and live well check as your number's getting called. So it can take, for 200 boat field, you can be boat 200 and you're an hour late.
Right.
You're an hour behind
Takes a lot
everybody.
longer.
So you
Yeah.
lose a little time in the morning.
Yeah.
But you get that.
I still
in the
feel like you're
afternoon.
getting the longer day, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, I like it. You had to me, that's the perfect draw, and I don't care which day it is. But one day you're in first flight, and the next day you're in last flight.
Right.
That's my perfect scenario. Because
Instead of being in the middle.
What do
instead
you
of being
prefer?
in the middle,
Yeah.
if you're in the middle, you get these average days. You never get to a spot first,
Right.
and you never get to get a long
Right.
day.
Right.
What's your preference?
On when to get first flight,
Yeah, like would you rather be first flight or last flight?
either. On day one, I prefer. I just want that draw.
Right.
I either want to be first or last because
Gotcha.
I know I'm going to get my shot. You
Yeah.
know.
That's me, first or last.
Yeah,
Mostly
first or
last.
last. But I tell you, it was nice fishing with you again, traveling with you. It felt really comfortable. And the Northern Opens and the Northern Toyota Series this year were places we fished for a lot of years. So that was
Yeah.
nice, too. You
It
know?
was. Yeah.
And I want to put you on the spot, Pete, and say that you dominated the BFLs this year.
Oh, thank
One
you.
AOY.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Good job, man.
Great
Thanks.
season. Yeah.
That was cool.
yeah.
Very
Peace.
dominating
Yeah.
win. It was nice to watch it from afar. So good job.
That's really cool. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you know what else? We might fish together again.
What do you mean?
I didn't realize this, but the winner, I guess it's a long shot, but the winner of the BFL regional
Yeah.
also qualifies for the Toyota championship.
Oh.
Ooh.
I
I
just-
wouldn't call it that long of a shot at all.
No, that might happen.
Well,
When is your regional?
Calling that about a 12-foot putt.
That's on the Potomac, right?
October 14th.
Oh, fishing should be good by then. I'm thinking. Should
Yeah.
be a lot better than what we had.
It should be different. You
Yeah.
know, I think it's going to be a lot different.
Should be a lot different. Yeah.
So I didn't realize that. So yeah, we might see each other again. But you know
Wow.
what? I just want to comment about, like, as we've been doing this such a long time, and you travel by yourself, and you're doing these tournaments. There's so much pressure. What a treat it is to be around with people you like being around.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
You
It's
know?
nice. Yeah.
It's so cool, and you know, you were there, and Tim was there, who's new to our group, but he fished
Yeah.
with me in the BFL. I'm going to give a shout out to Tim. He's been great, and Brooks Parker, who's good friend of mine, him and his father Derek, and and McGraw,
Yeah.
one of our buddies forever, your buddy
Oh,
forever,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
he's
it was great
yeah.
traveling with John.
Yeah, it's just really cool to have that group of just really positive people, and Brian Schmidt, to do a little name dropping.
Yeah.
He stayed with us. He stayed with us a little while.
Yeah.
Or at the one tournament at Oneida. Just really cool to be around people that you enjoy being around. Really makes that experience. When you're doing bad, when things are struggling, it's good to have that. You know.
Felt good. Felt good.
Mm.
I am really, really excited that I have 2 derbies left, Pete. And, this year, fishing the Opens, fishing the Northern Toyota Series, I'd had a higher goal of qualifying to fish the tours for each one, right? And by default, what that does, dude, is it makes you fish a little safer, right? I did. You saw that throughout
Yeah.
the year, and you fish a little safer. But in these last 2, dude, I'm so happy to take off that safety net, and I'm literally going to fish to win these next 2. Like,
Yeah.
I know that sounds stupid, but it's going to be a different feeling for me. So I have the U.S. Open next week, or actually about 2 weeks away, over on Lake Mead. Never fished Lake Mead. It's going to be in Nevada.
You're doing the
I'm
U.S. Open?
fishing the U.S. Open in 2
Get
weeks.
outta here.
Yes, very excited.
I didn't know that.
Never fished it. I'm going for the win.
Mhm.
And then the end of October, I've got the Toyota Series. Hopefully, I'll see you there. And same thing. That one's on Pickwick.
Mhm.
And, man, I'm going to fish a little different. I'm going to fish for, big fish, winning fish, not
Yeah.
worry about,
Yep. Points,
pounds and
yeah.
points and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to sort of take that off and fish a little different.
I got to say, in the last several years, that is how I fished the Opens and the BFLs and everything.
Yeah.
Because the points, it seems like this direction. I'm trying to get to the Classic.
Yeah.
And that's my course of action. So I'd go out to every time to win.
Try to win.
And not worry about bomb and not worry about having that disaster, because that's not my goal.
Right.
My objective is to try to get into that winner circle.
Winning you're in, get to the Classic.
Winning you're
Yeah.
in, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
It is.
It's like you can swing. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
this is not working. I'm going for another winning pattern today. I'm switching right now.
Yeah.
And I'm moving and I'm changing.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to get a bite. I don't have to get a limit.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can fish free like that.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun. But what's up with? You were supposed to tell me when you were gonna do the U.S. Open because I was gonna try to do it with you.
I know. Well, it was a last minute thing. Bass Cat really wanted me out there for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Speaking of announcement, Bass Cat is making a big announcement the day after the U.S. Open. They wanted me there for it. They were going to bring me in anyway, so I'm like,
Go
you know what?
fish.
I'm going to go fish. The other thing, and let me mention this because Becky will be up here in a second, but we renew our vows every year. So this year, right ahead of that tournament, we're going to renew our vows in Las Vegas.
Right,
Nice.
where you met.
Yes,
Where it
where
all
we met.
started.
We're going to have we're getting dressed up, and we have an Elvis impersonator marrying us under the Las Vegas sign at sunset. So I'm excited about that. And we're going to have about 3 or 4 days out there hanging out with the family. So it's going to be fun. But let's keep going because I think we've got some friends coming on here in a second, and I cannot wait to get the guys from MTV on here with us. Who do we have on with us tonight, Brian? I don't even know. Do we have Ross with us, and who else?
We've got Ross.
Just Ross. Okay.
The president. You don't
Oh,
need nobody else.
I don't know. I love Ross.
We got
so
the man.
I'm glad we have Ross on.
Yeah.
So joining us right now, back on our show on Ike Live, the one and only Ross Gordon joining us on the show tonight. Ross, what's up, bro?
What's up? What's up, Mike? What's up, Pete? I'm the only one you need, guys.
That's right. That's right. We don't need any other MTV riffraff except you.
man.
You're the only one we need.
That's it.
I want to get right to it. We talked a little bit about it right at the top of the show. Dude, I am so proud of you guys. You know, I have here in my notes, it's 10 years, but man, you guys have done so much in such a short period of time. First of all, give me motivation because we all have things we want to do. We all have little side hustles and businesses. There's people watching tonight that are trying to get a foothold in the fishing industry. How have you guys done this? This is amazing to me. You've grown a business. You've changed the sport. You're getting new people involved. How has all that happened in such a short period of time?
Yeah, at first it's been crazy. Like I still pinch myself. I was talking to Brian today. We were catching up, and I was like, dude, I can't believe 10 years ago, I started this thing in my garage just as an idea. The first 3 or 4 people I told the idea to, they're like, man, that's the worst idea. They're like, who wants to get random fishing lures? And, it's been crazy, but, to see where we've come, we are just about to hire our 100th employee, which is
Wow.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Huge.
So with Carl's and Ketchco and all the stuff we have going on, like it's been wild. And I think for me, it's just always been a matter of just keep pushing ourselves, keep pushing myself. I was a kid who never did well in school. I got terrible grades all throughout school. Never did well in college. I've had ADD since I was a kid. I could never sit still, but part of that has just fueled me to just keep trying new things and always get bored of stuff really quickly and always asking myself what's next. And still we still have a bunch of stuff I'm super excited about in the works that we're working on. It's been crazy.
Wow. It's what a success story in the fishing industry, Pete. I know over the years, since the 60s or 70s, there's been a lot of success stories. Mm-hmm. But I can't think of one as successful in such a short period of time as MTV. Is that crazy or what?
It's amazing because I know I met Ross, must have been shortly after you got started.
ICAST, I think. Yeah.
I think it was at ICAST. And, we were getting involved with Bass University and the subscription business model, and you guys were a little bit ahead of us. And I had tons of questions for you, and it was just amazing to see how fast and how you guys flourished so much, and they're doing so amazing with it. It's really cool to see, and I know we still fight. My son comes in now. My son's friends. We still fight over who gets the cool crankbaits in our mystery tackle box.
Love it.
That's awesome.
We do a good job of bringing families together and then tearing them apart.
The other thing I'm super proud of, and I do want to put you on the spot on this one, Ross, is you guys have supported this modest podcast from day one. And round of applause real quick. I appreciate that. And I think one of the keys to our relationship has been we have some very similar things going on. The one is we're both kind of oddballs in the fishing industry, which I like, right? Being different, having a different product, appealing to a slightly different audience is not a bad thing, right? Would you agree with that, Ross?
Absolutely. In fact, we have in our office, in our headquarters, we have a cutout of Carl. He's holding a poster and it says, "Do not conform." And that's something I'm always telling the whole company is like, there's a cookie cutter way to do things, and that's cool, and you can be super successful doing that, but that's boring to me.
Yeah.
And, you've carved out a niche with your persona in the sport, and you brought so many new people into fishing, and I think that's how we've tried to approach it as well. And that's, like you said, I think that's what's just made this a great partnership for so long.
Yeah, it has. And the other one that's real obvious is you guys are really instrumental in getting new people fishing, right? And getting new adults, new seniors, but especially new youth and new kids involved in fishing. And that's such an important thing. Was that always part of the plan for MTB from the beginning, or did it happen by default because of the product you offer? How did that come about?
Yeah, honestly, I think it happened as the nature of the product and sort of how I got into fishing. So I grew up in Minnesota. I love fishing since I was a little kid, but I didn't get into bass fishing until I was in my mid-20s. That's when I kind of the switch flipped, and I got my first bait caster and all that. But because I came into bass fishing so much later than everyone else, around me, it was everything was like confusing and overwhelming. And I've always approached the whole sport from that lens, is like, this sport is very hard to learn. It's very intimidating. It's very overwhelming. Let's simplify. Let's make things more fun. Let's make them approachable. Yeah. And what better way to get kids into fishing than having fun, making things easier, simplifying it. And that's just been a part of our brand, and it's been awesome. And we're always trying to think of new ways. How do we bring more people into the category?
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch it. And, Beck, we've talked about this in other shows, but I want to bring it up again with Ross on the line here, which is COVID has changed the world, right? There's a lot of negative things that have happened out of COVID. But one of the positives is a lot more people fishing, a lot more people engaged in the sport. Surely, Ross, you guys have seen an increase with new participants, new subscribers to MTB. All that has come with COVID. It's a good thing, when you look at what's happened to the world. I'm so glad there's more people fishing. There's more people subscribing. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. Silver lining through a tough time for everyone. Yeah. But, we've seen record numbers of fishing license sales the past year and a half. People who have already been fishing are participating more than they have. It's not always fun on the supply chain side.
Right.
You read about stuff in the news with shipping times and all that stuff is very real and it can be stressful, but it's been great for the sport, and hopefully we can all build on this momentum and keep as many people engaged for as long as possible.
Yeah, it's so true. Beck, you've been a subscriber to mystery tackle box type products in your life.
I was going to say, the boxes actually do come in my name, which makes me feel special.
Yeah, and you get MTBs in your butt. But what's interesting is you've engaged in this kind of product before in your life through other things, right? Through jewelry, through cosmetics, through fashion. Is that true?
It's true.
It is true. And it's just as good in the fishing world.
It is. It's fun to get that box.
It is fun. It is fun.
Pete belongs to the Kabasi of the Month Club.
He does. He does.
That's right.
It's an important subscription.
Kielbasa is a great thing to have, It's a great thing to have.
I do want to request, Ross, though. I know we talked about, how we wrestle for the lures, but is it possible, or maybe you can offer that as an option for those people like me that have trouble getting to their mystery tackle box that comes to their house? Is there a brown box, brown paper bag?
You want like incognito box?
Incognito.
Yeah.
Mystery tackle box anonymous. Yeah, we have to work on that. It's a real problem.
Yeah, just make like a box you can tick on your subscription. That would be helpful. I'd appreciate that.
It's like the mystery.
I like it.
Right, the mystery.
The mystery.
For mystery.
Right. And you can hide it from your significant other if that's a problem too. See?
It is for some people.
This could be big.
I know. Ross, I want to change direction a little bit and talk about how content has changed the fishing world, and you guys have been so good at it. A lot of your partners in the digital world have been good at it. We've been okay at it, through Bash University and Ike Live, and, we've tried to stay ahead of the curve with content. But I want to get your viewpoint on it's sort of a controversial topic in the fishing world, and you have a lot of old school thinkers that do not agree with these young content creators and, how the fishing world is changing and going to digital content and YouTube. And you have some resentment from people. That to me is horseshit, because I see how new people are getting involved in the sport because of it. But what's your stance on it? How do you feel about the controversy behind this content creation?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I started my career in advertising. I was a writer at an advertising agency called Leo Burnett, and I was on their digital team. And early on, like when YouTube was just becoming a thing back in like the early 2000s, there was a saying that everyone in the company would say is like, content is king. Yeah. And they would always talk about how content is going to be the next, mover of eyeballs. If you can create amazing content, and you keep people engaged, you can sell products, you can teach people things. And so I've always been a believer in content since I first, got out of college and started working. And with Mystery Tackle Box, I learned to fish when I told you I was getting into bass fishing in my 20s. I was watching John B videos when he was a 13-year-old kid on YouTube. There was literally nobody else making fishing tips videos. And my wife would walk in and see me watching this 13-year-old kid. She'd be like, what the hell are you watching? It was like, it's all there was. But from that early on, like I realized like this is going to change the way people learn. Yeah. This is going to change the way people engage with things. And so from the very early days of Mystery Tackle Box, before any YouTubers blew up and before there was like a Guggen Squad and all that stuff, it was super important for us to get our products on YouTube in front of people, because that was just how I learned. And I knew that was going to be something. And so I understand why it scares people and why they're intimidated by it, especially if they don't understand it and they don't know how to do it correctly. Of course, you're not going to be supportive of it, but it's just it's the future. There's no way around it. And platforms are going to evolve. And, TikTok is obviously a new platform that wasn't even around 3 or 4 years ago. And now that's a huge thing. So it's just going to keep changing. And the companies and the influencers and the personalities who can figure that out and find ways to engage with new people are going to be the ones that win. And it's just that simple, in my opinion.
Yeah, he hit it right on the head. And Ross, you just said new people, and I think that's really, really important. Ross, we were coming off a conversation last week. I won't say any names, but very old thinker, in terms of the only thing that matters is pro tournament fishing, right? Fishing the BPT, fishing the elites, a logo on your jersey and fishing that tournament are the only thing that matters. And, our argument was that's such a small window, right? That's such a small window of people that are
interested in fishing.
Right, that follow hardcore tournament fishing. But, with content and with engaging new people, dude, that pool is so much bigger. And you guys are doing such a good job of that. And I think, that to me is where this content creation, staying ahead of the curve, reaching new people, that's how you grow something. That's how you get to new people and make something bigger, and you guys are doing a great job at it. Hats off to you guys.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny because you talk about the tournament anglers and, someone thinking that that's the only way to go. For the first 8 or 9 years, not the first 8 or 9, probably the first 6 or 7 years of the company, we specifically didn't sponsor a single tournament angler, let alone, multiple. The podcast and stuff like that was super cool because it was content. But in terms of finding someone and sticking a logo on their jersey and hoping they win a tournament and sort of playing that lottery, like that just wasn't in our house. We were, going to put all of our advertising budget into digital, social media, influencers, all that stuff. And now you're seeing those worlds collide, yourself. You got guys like Brian Latimer who are creating amazing content on their YouTube channels. Industry vets like Scott Martin now have successful YouTube channels. So it's cool to see how some people have started to get it and they're understanding how to create content in these mediums. And it's great for the sport. And it's great for everyone involved.
It is awesome to watch it. I am not afraid of change. I like change. You're watching a brand new Ike Live show tonight. We've got our good friend, of course, president of MTB, Ross Gordon, with us tonight. Rizzo, I know you got some questions coming through on the IM. What do we got? We got some for Ross. What do we got coming through?
Yeah, our guys are actually kind of bringing it tonight. And
wow.
It's the usual suspects, but I'm surprised by
Wawa Hoagie Lady is on tonight?
He's on here. We got Buck Stronghold, Anthony Geis, The Wolf, Mike Shanker's Alter Ego.
Ooh, wow.
All kinds of good ones.
Shanks.
I thought
What
Shanker was an alter ego.
Oh,
It's
Well, you
double,
never know.
Double.
double entendre.
Double down. But I'm impressed by the questions here. It's kind of blowing me away. Anthony Geis wants to know, Ross, as an entrepreneur myself and running my own business, what did you find most helpful to getting your business to the next level? Any specific types of resources, like a business planner or possible legal entities?
Oh,
Wow.
dynamic.
Wow.
Very dynamic.
Yeah, I love that question.
That was Geis, Anthony Geis.
Wow, Anthony Geis.
That might be the smartest question
That might
has
be.
ever come through.
Anthony Geis just.
Thank you.
Anthony,
Wait till the next one.
write that note on that. Anthony wins something. We'll give him a pen or something. I don't know. We'll give him something. tonight.
MTV box.
MTV box. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we just elevated the Ike Live podcast.
Forbes, what up?
I would just say, a quick answer on that is like hiring super smart people. Just when I started hiring people who were good at all the crap that I was not good at, operations, finance, accounting, like I'm a creative by background. I'm good at writing. I'm good at content creation, social media. But when I hired my first, COO to like figure out how to optimize the supply chain and find a fulfillment center, like it's really hard to do what we do at the scale that we do it at. We've shipped over, I think, since we started the company, over 8 million boxes we've sent out since we started.
Wow.
It's harder than anyone thinks, and there's been dozens of companies who've tried to do subscription, and most of them have failed because it's actually super hard. And if I didn't have the super smart people around me to figure out all the stuff I wasn't good at, like there's no way we'd be here. So that's my number one advice: just hire smarter people than you are.
Right on.
Good piece of advice.
I've heard that before from higher ups. Great advice.
Yeah. Riz, what else
That's why
we
they
got?
hired
We got
me.
more.
Oh, we got more. Yeah, that's why we hired Brian the Carpenter.
And the Wolf of Ike Live wants to know, Ross, did you go out and look for investors, or did you choose to grow your business organically? And if you did look for investors, where did you start?
Wow. Man,
Are people trying to steal
we got. I don't.
MTV?
I don't know. We have a lot of hot entrepreneurs on tonight watching. This is
Apparently.
crazy. Wow.
Your podcast is going to fly up the tech charts. Yeah. So I ran for the first 3 years. We didn't raise any investor money. Me and one of my co-founders, we put in a little bit of money ourselves just to get it off the ground, and then we just ran things as tightly as possible. Like maxed out my credit cards. Didn't sleep a lot. Almost ran out of money like 5 or 6 times along the way, and at some point when we knew we had something that was growing, I think it was around 2015, we had hit like 15,000 subscribers, and we're doing a couple $1 million a year in revenue. I was like, holy crap, this thing is like a real company. And we had 6 employees and the wheels were like about to fall off. We just couldn't keep up with anything. And, through my network, I just started to talk to people in the Chicago area, which is where I'm from and where the company's based. And we just got connected with some investors who knew like subscription business models and tech. And so we raised $1 million back in 2015. That took us to about 50,000 subscribers or so on Mystery Tackle Box. So that gave us like a pretty big boost. And we started to hire. That's when I started to hire like the really smart people around me and started to scale the business. And then we raised a little bit more money in 2017. We raised $4.5 million. And that's when we started Catchco. So that's when I was like, okay, I think there's something bigger here than Mystery Tackle Box. We want to go into e-commerce, do a bunch of stuff. And so, it sort of was just a progression of like asking myself, well, what other opportunities could we capture if we had more money? And then finding the right investors who understood what we're doing. And we just raised $38 million, I want to say in April of this year from a VC group called True Ventures. So they're the first investors in Peloton, Ring Doorbell, Sweet Green, which is like, they're like legit West, and one of their partners is a huge fly fisherman and big outdoorsman, and they just sort of believed in what we're doing. And so it's just been a crazy evolution. Hopefully, I don't know if that answers the question. I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but
Wow.
Yeah.
I can see people are listening, writing things down. We're going to see mystery plumbing supply box coming out.
Yeah, Bob Soley. Yeah.
Mystery carpentry box.
Yeah. Everything.
If you decide to get into fashion, just call me.
Yeah. Beck can definitely help you. You hit it on the head, though, and I want you to talk a little bit more about that, is you guys have done a really good job of continuing to elevate and, right, not being stagnant, right? And you guys are constantly adding new stuff. Talk a little bit about that. Like Catchco, I know you guys have Bass Mobile launching. Talk a little bit about, trying to stay ahead of the curve and trying new stuff. Where does that come from? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of it just comes from my ADD. I just can't sit still, and I get bored of doing the same thing for too long, and I have to do something new. And back before I started Mystery Tackle Box, I started a company called Craft Jack, and it was like a internet marketing service for home improvement contractors. Brian, you may have heard of a company called Home Advisor, but it was something similar to that. And I sold that company early on, and that's when I started Mystery Tackle Box. But all my friends are always like, "Oh, you're going to be the guy who comes up with like a new business idea every year." And then once I got into fishing, which is something I'm passionate about, I never wanted to go do anything else. So in order to stay interested, I just had to keep doing new things within fishing. And so I started BioSpawn, which is a soft bait company. Started that back in 2013 with a friend of mine, and sort of started to understand the process for designing lures. And so, fast forward to 2017, when we were growing Mystery Tackle Box, and I was thinking about Catchco, I sort of already knew how to do soft bait design, and we pulled BioSpawn into the Catchco umbrella. And then, we wanted to do e-commerce, and we're like, well, Mystery Tackle Box probably isn't the right brand to do e-commerce under because it's going to be confusing for people. So let's take Carl, who was sort of the spokesperson for Mystery Tackle Box, and use him to create Carl's Bait and Tackle. And so we've just sort of strategically tried to ask ourselves, what can we build on? But when I take a step back and it's like, well, what are we doing at Catchco? I tell people we're trying to build the ecosystem for the modern angler. Let's create amazing products, amazing content, and amazing shopping experiences, and just try to do that for modern anglers in the best way we know how. And that sort of guides the things that we do or the things that we don't do under the Catchco umbrella.
Wow, that's awesome. I think, Pete, that's something to aspire to, even for a lot of the businesses we have, right? To continue to elevate, to keep thinking. I think sometimes you get too stagnant, right? Things are working. This is cool, and you just kind of stay on your laurels, but constantly elevating. It's pretty
Leave the
important.
Senko for another 15 seconds.
Right, just keep throwing the Senko, the black Senko everywhere
another
you go.
15 seconds. I'm just saying.
Dude,
it's another 15 seconds.
Never stop throwing that bait. But BioSpawn has one, I'm sure, Ross.
Absolutely.
But what's this? What's the Bass Mobile? What is this project that you have going on?
Yeah, so the Bass Mobile is actually something we just launched. I want to say right around ICAST, right after ICAST. But we basically took an RV and we retrofitted it with like a giant bass around it and kind of spray painted and graffitied the thing with all of our logos and fishing stuff. And we're basically going around the country doing in-person, fishing activation events at like state fairs, concerts, different events. And it's a great way, another great way to get kids and families into fishing. And so,
hell yeah.
If you go to bassmobile.com, you can see all the stops and everywhere we're going, but it's sort of our first in-person cross-country experiential road trip, with fishing.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
It's like the Oscar Mayer Wiener hot dog
Exactly.
truck,
Exactly.
which I see occasionally in my travels, and I love it. You mentioned your spokesperson, Carl Von Dibble, and I got to tell you, one of the best things that ever happened in my entire life, I would put it up there with meeting Becky. I would put it up there with winning the Classic and winning AOI. I would put it up there with the birth of all my children.
Brian the Carpenter, sixth grade.
I would put it up there, yes, with Brian the Carpenter. Was when your KVD met the real KVD at the Bassmaster Classic. I gotta say, Beck,
man.
that was one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire
was
life.
great.
That
Ross,
was
would
so
you
cool.
agree with that?
Oh my God, it's top 5 for me too. That was 8 years in the making, and it was funny because every time there was an ICAST or a Classic, I don't know, are they going to see what happens if they bump into each other? Should we, shouldn't we? And it was always this unspoken thing. It's like, Carl, just avoid him, go the other direction. And then And it was, on your podcast, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were talking to Carl, and Kevin came in the background, and they hugged it. Like, it was just perfect. The whole thing was like a perfect moment.
Oh, it was so
It was
good.
so
So
cool.
good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny you said that, because I can now close my eyes and imagine your Carl like nervous to meet KVD.
was so
And he's got
nervous.
his hands under his armpits and he's rocking back and
Sweating.
forth, sweating, Man, I could just visualize
so
that.
funny.
His face, like he wasn't sure what
Yeah.
was going to happen.
Right.
Like the nervousness just screamed out of
But
him.
I thought Kevin accepted him really
no,
well.
it was great.
great.
It turned
Yeah.
out perfect, but
Yeah.
his nervousness made everyone nervous.
It was so good. And the funny thing is, like, a lot of people now, I don't think, realize that Carl Von Dibble, KVD, was like sort of started as a spoof on Kevin Van Dam. Like, back in the day, it was, we called him other KVD, and it was like very front and center. And now he's kind of Carl. And so a lot of the newer people who sort of come on board to Mr. Tacklebox and Carl's in the past couple of years, they don't necessarily get the joke. And so
Yeah.
it's sort of like the fact that was just sitting there in the background, like, it was just amazing.
Wow. I
Oh.
mean, what a great, that's funny though, because Kevin's the most straight-laced guy in the entire sport, so to have him as that sort of inside joke was perfect choice. It's so great.
Oh, he was great. Kevin was awesome.
Kevin was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved it. He loved it.
He did.
He loved it. Ross, I want to talk about what is we've got a good handle on knowing that we need to grow the sport. You guys are doing a great job. We try to do it. People are watching and listening right now, and they're saying, I want to get new people involved. I want to try to help get kids fishing, kids outdoors. Give them advice. Do you have advice on how to start new people fishing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ways that are top of mind for us. One, obviously, if you, if you have kids or you have friends who have kids, like, just encourage them to take them out. Kids, I have a bunch of friends who have kids who are, anywhere from 4 to 10 or 11 years old, and they're always asking me questions about fishing, and the mom or dad wants to take out the kid, but they don't know how.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, I'll take you guys out. Let's go together. Like, let's go figure this out. Like, you sort of have to step in and be a little bit more proactive and just, try to facilitate that, because a lot of people, like, you don't realize how many people in your social circle who don't fish, their kids are probably interested in fishing, or at least half of them are probably interested in fishing. And they just need that little nudge or someone to invite them out and show them along. So that's a big one, posting it when you're fishing on social media with your kids. Like, when I do that, that's when all my friends reach out, like, oh, that looks so fun. I want to take, can my kids come next time? So that's one way to do it. I mean, there's a lot of ways to donate to different foundations, that help kids fish. You obviously have a great foundation. There's a lot of other foundations out there. So if you have tackle you're not using, if you have leftover stuff, don't throw it out. Find somewhere to donate to. Yeah. Those are some of the bigger ones that I'm really thinking about a lot.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, and I'm saying this as a true believer, this is a great way right here to get kids involved. And I'm telling you, I've seen it from so many people. So many people approach me, and our son, Vegas, loves this box.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets other boxes, right? He has like a building box, like a science box.
Yeah.
And getting this once a month, like having it put in front of you, makes you want to engage in the sport. So if you're watching and listening and you've got kids you want to get involved in the sport, you've got new people you want to show the sport to, try the MTB box. It's definitely something that'll get you involved in the sport. Ross, before we let you go, what's next? Is there anything next? Is there anything new? I know your mind is spinning every minute of every day. What's next? What do you got next?
Yeah, so a couple things we're working on. One, we just actually acquired a company called Postfly, a fly fishing company, fly fishing subscription box that I've known the founder for a couple of years. So we just closed on that deal 3 or 4 weeks ago. And so new category for us, fly fishing is never something we've done before. I think there's a big opportunity. I think there's a lot more crossover than people may realize in terms of people who conventional fish and fly fish or have an interest in fly fishing. So I think we're going to be looking at fly fishing a little bit more closely. And then just getting new people into fishing. We're working on a couple cool things. We showed something at ICAST this year. It's a brand called Cast and Seek, but it's really meant for that first time angler, for people who literally have never fished before. And it's a kit that we're working on that's really content focused. And it's not one of those kits that has 500 pieces and like super intimidating and everything's melted by the time you get home.
Yeah.
It's supposed to just be, bare bones, simple, but then really in depth on content and video. So just continue to think about getting more people into fishing.
That's awesome. Well, I have a request on the fly fishing box. I'd like to get a subscription. And as long as there's a muddler minnow and a zug bug in my box, I'd like to subscribe.
Zug bug.
Zug bug. You remember that zug bug, Bri? You remember that?
No.
The zug bug was that John that we would fish up on Ken Lockwood Gorge. It was that it like had like a fluorescent green quality to it. It was a nymph. It was a sinker. But a zug bug. We used to fish like size 12. You don't remember this shit?
Nope.
Oh, come on, man.
You trying to pretend that we fly fished?
Yeah, we fought with zug bug.
No, we didn't.
Ken Lockwood Gorge was fly
We had
fishing only.
spinning rods and night crawlers.
Well, occasionally we'd put a night crawler on the zug bug, even though they were always up in the woods with binoculars. But we would do that occasionally. But no, they would hit the zug bug there.
Okay, yeah, I believe it.
I'm telling you.
It was a big deal for bass 20, 30 years ago. I still have a case of flies that were designed for bass.
Oh, bass flies, like poppers and
poppers and all
Absolutely.
kinds of
Never opened it.
divers and I used to fly fish. I used to bring a
You did?
I used to bring a fly rod and my spinning rod to the pond.
Wow. Well, speaking of fly fishing, in the last Toyota Series, second place co-angler
What?
fly fished.
Second place?
He almost won. He almost won
Get
the
out.
co-angler side fly fishing.
No.
Dude, when I saw the photos on MLF or
He caught him?
dude,
On the fly rod.
on the fly rod, every single bass on the fly rod, on like a big white streamer, a big ass white streamer, dude.
What?
Almost won. I mean, by like
Wow.
a pound or less than a pound. Almost won.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Something.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
We got to talk to that guy.
Ross, can you
I know,
imagine?
I know our first sponsorship. Here we go. I guess.
Yeah, I know. Let's find this guy. But can you imagine being the pro and your co-angler has
yeah.
a fly fishing vest on
And
with
smokes you
with
from
a
the back.
10-foot fly rod and is dominating out of the back? Every tenth swing of the rod, he hooks your eyelid. Can you imagine this?
You're like,
Dude, he did. He had the whole costume. He had the vest on.
The
and
vest,
The hat with
he
the
had it
flies.
all.
Yeah.
He even had that little dumbass net.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
He had it all.
Yeah, when Pete
Wearing
said
his waiters in the back of the boat.
That
be
is
like, hey,
great.
how many more of those streamers you got, man? Trying to wing it out there on a spinning rod.
Wow, that's crazy.
Standing
They're-
in the live well.
second place.
Yeah,
Wild.
they're worried about outlawing the Alabama rig, yet here's the guy with a 12-foot fly rod smoking them from the back. Come on, guys, get your priorities straight out here.
That's awesome.
That is phenomenal.
Oh, man, crazy.
Before you sign out,
Yeah.
we did have one really cool comment come through.
Oh,
on
well,
the
we
message board.
want to hear it. Riz, what do we got?
Mike Shanker's alter ego
Yeah, okay.
says he'll donate $100 to the Ike Foundation if Ross chugs a beer right now.
Oh, man.
I gotta go downstairs and get a beer. I got a seltzer right here.
Seltzer! Chug the seltzer! Chug the seltzer! Yeah, that'll work. There it goes. All right. All right, Mike Shanker's alter ego. We want that 100 over at the Ike Foundation.
It was only a third of the way full, so if you donate $33,
We'll take that too. Ross, it was so good having you on the show again. Can't thank you enough for supporting this podcast and for being such a great company in the fishing industry, getting so many people involved in the sport. Man, we owe you a lot for that, so we really appreciate it.
It's been awesome. I appreciate the opportunity. It was a really good time, guys, and hope to do it again sometime soon.
Absolutely.
There you have it. Ross
Thanks,
Gordon,
Ross.
everybody. Yes. Man, that's awesome. Talk about success, Pete.
Wow.
That's pretty
That's moving fast.
staggering.
That is
it's
moving fast.
And Ross is a young guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't corner him, ask him how old he is, but he's a young guy.
Yeah.
Tremendous success and a great product. So very, very fortunate to be working with these guys. And Brian, I did see the note. Since Ross is, I wanted to say this when he was on the air, but he's off the air. You were instrumental in creating this relationship. So thank you, Brian. Yeah, Brian.
I thought it was neat because it was back in the Twitter days, and I tweeted at Mystery Tackle Box, and
Yeah.
they got back to me, and next thing I know, I'm on a job site wearing a tool belt in somebody's driveway, talking to Ross on the phone about why I think MTB and Ike Live made sense.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Back when Twitter was a thing.
Yeah.
Is Twitter not a thing anymore?
Not for me.
Okay. All right.
Brian's not tweeting.
Not tweeting.
no.
Not tweeting.
Hey, so I think we should do something tonight, and I
Probably.
know that Rich will cringe, but thank God we got Jake here. So we have all these boxes.
He's cringing already.
And he gets mad every time I do this.
Yeah.
But anyone who sends their address in gets a box sent to them. Your address does not get put through for everyone to see. Just
Oh.
send your address through the
Okay.
IM board. You get a box.
You get a mystery tackle box if
Yeah.
you
Rich,
send your
Rich, it's
address
called
through.
copy and paste.
I'm ready.
Copy and paste.
I got it.
Okay. All right. Wow. Miss
Getting hot
Rebecca
in
with
here.
a great offer tonight.
It's unlimited, like mystery tackle box. How many?
Until we run out.
We have
Till we
got
run
a
out.
whole bunch of them up here.
Okay.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
we
that
do.
have come
It's
through
pretty
here.
First come, first
You
serve.
know they're
Yeah.
empty, right?
No, they're not all empty.
Okay.
There's because I put them up there. There's they got stuff in
Empty
them.
beer cans.
I mean, I don't know what else.
Well, here's the thing. You'll never know what you'll get.
Listen,
Brian
you
has
don't know what
emptied
you're
them.
getting. They're
People are
gonna-
sending me half their addresses already.
Yeah.
I'm getting like just first names, half an address, no
All right,
state.
so listen, you have to do this right, guys. I know you're drinking, but you have to put your name and your full address, and
Yes.
the box is yours.
Name
'Cause
and full
I'll
address.
I'll make sure that Kate sends it.
Okay. That's a good one. Becky, let me. You snuck in the middle of Ross coming on. I do want to formally say welcome to the show. It's nice to have you sitting here.
Hi,
Who are
Kate.
you wearing?
Who are you wearing tonight?
Oh, I'm wearing my Pangea tonight.
Pangea. Wearing Pangea sweats tonight. Also notice that you're drinking out of a
Goblet.
What do
I
you
got
have
my
there?
chalice.
Chalice with gold dragons on it. It looks pretty fancy.
Yeah, I had to get fancy.
Pretty amazing. Okay. Let me remind everybody watching, too. Rizzo, like and share. If you're over on Facebook, like and share this feed. You're going to be entered a chance to win the world-famous Ike Life gift bag, of course. And
22.6 pounds.
22.6 pounds. And I think we'll
Nice.
take a little bit of a break,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Commercial break. Come right back.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let me get everybody hyped up here. Special mystery guest coming on this second segment. I have no idea, but it sounds like these might be pretty good guests or
It's
guests.
going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Okay, hang in there with us. When we come back, second segment, mystery guest on Ike Live. You know, right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, you know, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water. You know, the Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes. But they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, you know, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, you know, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have an experience. You know, it's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you know, you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, you know? The big thing, I think, for the Ike Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
No.
It'd be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, you know, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us. We're proud of it.
TH Marine has been producing top-of-the-line marine accessories to rig boats from transom to trolling motor for decades. From jack plates to fish care to LEDs, TH Marine has you covered. TH Marine, outfitting your boat from transom to trolling motor.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, What if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend, and the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we brewed a beer that brought us together and allowed us to be ourselves? A beer that is just as much of a companion as it is a reward at the end of the journey. What if we explored the unknown together and found a new way to celebrate taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? Founders All Day IPA, low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Perfect for any occasion.
We're excited to announce our brand new partnership with an amazing company, Heshi Socks. That's spelt Heshi Socks. Go to heshysocks.com to check out my brand new Mike Iaconelli collection. That's right, I have my own custom socks in tournament colors. I promise you, you will never, I mean never, find a more comfortable sock. The great news, all my socks are under $10 a pair when you use our promo code IKE20. Go to heshysocks.com, use the promo code IKE20 to get the most comfortable socks in the world.
And action.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new Ike Live. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I know we are. We got a great crew in studio tonight with us. Brian the Carpenter, Rizzo pushing buttons. We've got Jake in the house with us tonight. Very excited to have him on. Miss Rebecca just sat down with me. And, of course, the co-host of the show, Crust, the show, Pete Clusek.
Crusty Pete.
Crusty Pete. That was a cool segment. And I'm just going to say what we said off air.
I'll say what I say. I do
Ross
what I do.
is a good guest, and he's a smart dude.
Yeah.
Super smart dude. Love having Ross on the show because he's very well-spoken, and he always gets his point across, which I love. We've had other guests on the show that don't do that, so appreciate that, Ross. That was awesome.
He's inspirational.
Very inspirational.
We talk about it from
Very
running our
inspirational.
business. It just
Yeah.
inspires us to find the next level and inspire the viewers to chime in with some
Yeah.
pretty high-level business questions.
Well, that is the thing, though. I feel like the fishing industry has room for new businesses and innovators, and you know what I mean? Like, we always talk about the fishing industry being a little behind the curve of life, but I think that's a benefit to somebody that has new ideas and is motivated, and you can do things here that haven't been done, where in a lot of other walks of life it's old hat, right? So there's a lot of opportunity here in the fishing industry, I think.
I think so, and we always kind of say whatever's happened in the real world, it's going to start happening in the fishing industry a year from now or 2 years from now.
A few years later.
Like they just
Or 10 years from now.
10 years from now.
They just dropped MySpace and moved over to Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Lee Livesey still has a flip phone for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So
This is true. Actually, Lee's on social media a lot. He
he
works
is. Yeah,
his
and
butt
Lee
off.
just got married. I saw.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations to Lee.
Way to go.
That's awesome, man.
And he was just featured on Bash University TV with his topwater seminar.
Very cool.
After setting the third heaviest stringer in the history of Bassmaster, caught this year on Lake Fork, and he came and did some on-water training right here on the Chesapeake.
And what a great, timely thing to talk about, too. We're here right on the heels of fall. I can't think of a better time of the year for topwater than the fall. So,
absolutely.
when everybody please go check that
The
out.
toes of
Yeah.
fall. The
Say
heels is the back end.
Well,
we're on the toes of
The
fall.
toes. The
Yeah.
toes. Yeah, the toes. We're on the toes of it. Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, we have a
Ready?
great new subscription promotion going on right now
Ooh.
Smack it
at
back.
Bash University. We have a 3-month subscription promotion that's $35, so you can get involved with it. We have a great Tackle Warehouse coupon valued at $25. That you get for coming over to Bash University
So
TV.
it's like $10.
Trying it out. It's like
$10
$10, and it's a great time to study up. This is the time when everybody's not fishing as much.
Yes.
Great time to learn a new technique and get ready for the upcoming
Watch tape.
season.
Watch tape.
Watch
In the
tape.
off season, watch tape.
$35 is like a Panera meal, but
Yeah. It's like a
just to
Panera
put
meal.
it- just to
It's
put it
like a
in perspective.
Japanese crankbait.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, so listen.
Hey.
So Mike
Hey.
has no idea what's happening
Hey.
here this evening.
Hey.
We decided. Shh.
Smack him.
I know he's being obnoxious
Hey.
because he's nervous.
Stop it.
'cause
I'm
he
not
doesn't-
nervous.
Is that what he does?
He doesn't like when he's not in control.
Yeah.
So this is really.
You're
fun.
right.
Yeah, see it? Do you see how
No, that's
cranky he
not
was
true.
today?
No, it is true.
No, it's not true.
I don't,
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
even
That's
know what's
bullshit.
I don't even know what's happening on this show.
No, that's not true.
So
Hurry up.
listen. So
not true.
listen.
I love the impression. That's a great one.
So this evening we are going to take a trip down memory lane.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we're going
And
back?
We have a cast of characters.
A cast?
Cast of characters.
This is your life.
Jesus.
This is your life. But these are the people
Oh, I'm scared.
that you roomed with
What?
for many, many years on the road. And
What?
they have seen you at your best and your worst, and they are going to tell some funny-ass stories
Oh,
tonight.
no.
So, Peter Glusick being one of the originals.
Oh, Pete's one of the originals. Absolutely.
I came in at some point. I think a lot of the fun probably ended once I came around. So we're going to refer.
Dream killer.
That's the sound of the police.
The dream killer.
So, Brian, are we ready to show their
Oh,
faces?
ready as all hell.
All right.
All right. All right. So are they all coming on at once or
That's how it's got to
individually?
happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
all
my
right.
call,
Well, I'm
but-
Yeah,
excited.
because one of them's a diva. You'll figure that out in 2 seconds.
2
Okay.
seconds.
Well, I'm very excited. I'm very excited by this.
Yes. Go ahead, Mike. Just make up words.
All right. I don't know. I don't even know who we got coming on here.
Look, guess the diva.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like the Brady Bunch, though, with these boxes.
Wow.
Freddie is the diva.
Wow.
All right, so we've got
This is
Fred
great.
Urbanus, John Cruz, and Ishmael
Wow.
here to tell you about, well, not tell you, tell everyone about what living with you was. for
Wow.
years.
All right. Before we start
Yay.
going into the dirty secrets, I want to say thank you guys for coming on the show. It's so good to see you guys. It's so good to see you guys. I miss you guys so much. I miss seeing your faces. I miss fishing with you. I miss fishing against you. And I do miss the old days. The old days were fun.
Don't lie. Mike. Don't lie. Retirement is 50.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to let you guys talk, but I think who you room with does mold you as a person, but mold you as an angler. And I can think of rooming with you guys over the years and what I've learned, from sight fishing to frog fishing to finesse techniques that I picked up from you guys from rooming with you. And that's invaluable. Like the year that I won Angler of the Year, I caught frogfish and sightfish that year. And they're two of the things I could never do. And, rooming with Ish and Freddie and John and from line choice to rod choice to, having the balls to throw a tube that's 8 inches on a bedding fish. There are things that you wouldn't do on your own that I give these guys a lot of credit for. So, guys, it was great experience all those years rooming with you. Amazing.
So I guess that's where my
I
anger
can't even
issues
say.
come from.
Yes.
My anger. When I get angry on the water, where does that come from? Does that come from Mike? 'Cause it definitely doesn't come from John.
It was a learned
It's
behavior.
okay to let it out sometimes. It's okay.
It is.
And sometimes
Yeah,
it's not
definitely
okay.
let it
That's,
I'm gonna pretty much let Mike
can
off
you
the
guys- can
hook
you guys hear
here. And what was that?
We can hear
I
you,
just didn't know if
Freddie.
you guys-
We can hear you, Fred.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. I had to move around the building a little bit. We're out here in Arkansas in the middle of the woods, but
Fred, move
no,
to the
Mike,
part
I
of the
learned
building
so
with light
much
on.
that year.
I'm
2006
gonna
when you won
let-
Angler of
I'm
the
gonna
Year,
let-
just rooming with you.
Freddie, go
I'm
to
gonna
the
let
light.
Mike off the hook here on the good old storytelling because I've got to actually go. But I just want to say it was definitely awesome and amazing rooming with Mike to see the transformation of winning the Classic and winning Angler of the Year and Becky coming along into his life. Like, I mean, all of us were there for that, and I just say it's an awesome, amazing experience. You know, Pete's been there multiple tournaments as well. I guess we changed his name now to Krusty Pete.
Crusty. He's old and crusty now.
I like the old original name, and we'll let the fans see if they know that one. But Ike knows definitely what we used to call Pete back in the day.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I remember that.
There's so many nicknames
well,
now.
Before he got married and had kids, we had another name for him. But yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we were roasting Mike.
I know, right?
Now we're roasting Pete. Now we're roasting Pete. You did say something though, Ish, that I want to put three of us on the spot and say that good women, a good wife, a good partner, a good spouse does change your life in a positive way. I know it did for Pete, Johnny Cruz, and Freddie. We were all a little wild, you know, back in the single days when we were touring. And I think, you know, that when you have stability.
We were definitely wild.
We were wild. We were wild. But here's the thing. You know, in this business, to have stability and John's wife and Freddie's wife and your wife, you know, to have that stability there makes you a better angler. It makes you a better professional at what you do.
I think so.
Yes. Obviously, Becky did that for you, and we saw that.
Yeah, so shout out to all the wives and girlfriends and ladies out there.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, I just want to come in and say, hey, I'm going to roll out of here. Good to be on the show. John's got his drink going.
Yeah.
And I will catch up with you guys soon. Miss you guys.
All right, bye, Ish.
All right.
See you.
All right, I'm going to
Take care.
Thanks for 5 minutes, Ish.
It's okay. Now we can
That's
talk
good. I'll
about
throw
him.
now we can roast Ish.
Yeah, let's roast Ish.
I literally
no.
completely changed the whole show around based off his timeline. And he's there for 5 minutes.
He had a hot date tonight.
You know what? Have a hot date tomorrow night.
Is he going on BTL? Let's
Let's go on another. Let's get another podcast lined up.
He's got another 5-minute
What the hell's
appearance.
going on?
Hold on. I want to delete his name live on the air. Just give me 1 second, folks. We'll find
Just unfollow him from Twitter and Facebook
all of that
right now.
Hold on, everybody.
Good
All right,
Lord.
well, listen, because I don't even remember this. How many years did you guys room together? Like, what year was it that you actually started rooming together?
Yeah, so the interesting thing is Pete and I roomed together for a lot of years, and then we had in the history of bass fishing, you know, we had the segment where FLW sort of broke away from bass, and at that point
I went that way.
Pete went that way. Pete decided to go the FLW route. And I remember at that point, you know, it was like all of a sudden I was like, man, I got to find some good guys to room with. And, you know, the funny thing, and Fred, I put you on the spot on this one. The funny thing early on was I felt the closest bond with West Coast guys for some reason. You know, I don't know why that is, but like East Coast guys, West Coast guys, we were still anomalies at the time, right? There weren't a lot of us. And I think we were different, right? We talked different, we thought different. And I think that was one of the bonds early on. And then, you know, John was just a natural fit to it. I think John started room with us just like a year later. John was looking for a partner. I think, John, you had been room with somebody and were looking for someone new.
Yep.
And you just...
I was rooming with Russ Lane, and then at the time, his fiance or lady friend, whatever, she started rooming. And so I'm out in the cold. And I knew you.
Out in the yard.
Yeah.
So I hit you up. And you were like, "Oh, won't you roll in here with me and Ish?" And I'm like, "I don't know about Ish, man. He,
Always trust your first impression."
So Mike said, "No, it's cool. It'll be cool."
Don't
and then
believe Mike.
he actually had the same exact conversation with Ish, because Ish said, "I don't know about John. I'm not so sure about him. Like, we're not." And then we ended up rooming together until, you know, the whole split thing happened.
Yeah.
and we were together for more than 10 years, and I mean we still talk on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So Mike was right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Becky.
Dude, all those early years there were so many cool things that happened, but the one thing it's so neat to sit here right now and have you got two guys on the show and see how your brands and businesses have grown. Like I remember Fred, when we were all so green and you weren't even Boom Boom yet. You didn't have a brand, you know.
He hadn't boomed.
Yeah, you hadn't boomed yet. But it's so awesome, you know, to like, you know, this year I got to step outside of competing. And I was a fan again this year, right? And I got to watch MLF and I got to watch Bassmaster. And it's so cool to see how you guys have blossomed and your brands and the tournament wins. And, you know, it makes you think back to when none of us had any of that, you know? And like all these years later, it's become such a big thing. It's so cool to watch it.
Dude, I got to owe a lot of it to you.
Wow, thank you.
You know, when we roomed in 2006, I barely saw you because you worked so hard and you earned that Angler of the Year. Like I've never seen anyone work that hard to this day in fishing, but that's what taught me, dude, you're not working hard enough, right? I got to get out there and work harder.
Yeah.
Because to be successful, you got to do what Mike's doing. And just learning from you and rooming with you taught me so much. But I kind of want to tell a story real quick if you got a minute.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny because this just happened actually, the day Brian hit me up to be on the show, I was actually at a youth event here in Arkansas. I sponsor the Arkansas Youth Bass Hogs right out of Clarksville. And we had our annual banquet. Well, I gave away one of my jerseys through a raffle, and the kid that won it, and we got to talk, and then another kid came up and said, "Hey, can you sign my jersey?" And I said, "Well, yeah, sure." And so I signed. He says, "Hey, can I ask you something?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Can I sign your hat?" He was asking me if he could sign my hat. And I froze for a second, like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But it goes back to a thought. At that moment, I remembered something. When you won the Classic, I don't even know if you remember this or not, but the Wednesday before, you know, the media day, we actually went out and had a beer at a bar, and we were talking, and I was like super stoked to be hanging out with you, and a guy wanted your autograph. He's like, "Mike, I get your autograph." Then the guy asked me, "Do you fish?" I said, "Well, yeah, but I fish like local programs." I was more in the sales and the business side of it. And Mike, you're like, "Dude, sign the napkin." It was just a little bar napkin. And I'm like, "Nah, we'll sign the other side." So we flipped it over, and you told me to sign. I signed that napkin. And I just remember doing, like, for me, signing something that I was not deserving of by any means was like, dude, you better get your butt at that level as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And so I thought about that, and it really did. It's a weird situation, but it really brought me, you know, it's something I'll never forget, for one, because you won the Classic like a couple days later, and it put a drive in me to want to be a Bassmaster, wanted me to be a professional angler.
Wow.
And a couple of years later, I qualified to the tour, you know.
Yeah.
But here's this kid wanting to sign my hat, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, sign it.
That's right.
drive like I did. And I told that story, and literally right after that, Brian hits me up to be on his show.
Wow.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's eerie.
Most
awesome.
unbelievable.
Yeah, along those lines.
It's funny how
Freddie,
things go full circle.
Yeah. I've been signing autographs for
So,
like the last
anyway,
3-4
thank
years,
you.
and that hasn't inspired me for anything.
Hey, you're getting the shows off on time.
You getting close.
Hey,
Freddie, have Julie bring you out a candle or something. We need a little lighting in front of you, buddy.
shoot a flare.
Yeah, we can't see Boom Boom's face.
Yeah, shoot a flare off. That'd be cool.
I like it.
It's the ghost of Frederick.
Uncle Freddie.
Yeah. Oh man, what an amazing years we had there. I can tell
Dude,
you.
I know it's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, look what I did. Let's see if this works.
Oh yeah,
We're on
there's
the
better.
move.
That's
There he
way
is.
better.
Oh shit! It really is Fred.
We weren't entirely sure, but now we know.
Oh,
It is
frozen
Fred.
Fred.
He lost his Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna go back inside.
Oh, Ish is back.
There he is.
And we lost him.
We had Ish.
He's just back.
Did you see that?
What?
Did he pop up?
He was back.
Oh, wait, here it is.
Ish came back. Yeah.
I see you.
I
What are you
see
up
you,
to?
Ish.
What are you doing?
Ish is back. He doesn't even know he's on.
It's not
Oh
working.
my
What was
God.
he up to?
Ish just randomly popped up for a second.
This is
It's
too
not
good.
working.
It's like Jimmy Houston's dog just hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord! Hey, while we're telling that, Freddie was talking and
I've got
talking about when you won the classic.
Terrible Wi-Fi.
We know this, Fred. Hey, when he was talking, dude, it
We
just
gotta go back to the
reminded me.
dark. I can't hear you.
When we were,
I'll go stand under this light right here.
That's a good spot, Fred.
That's a good spot. That looks good.
Go back
Look,
to the
I'm
darkness.
just like I'm going under random lights. I'm walking under random lights. Look, you can see me now.
this is totally Freddie.
It's so good.
Frozen Fred.
Oh God.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
John. John, you were saying
Dude,
something.
Mike, I was just gonna say that when you won that classic, I'll never forget. We were out because I was there working like a
I'm
chode.
sorry,
I
guys.
wasn't even
I got
fishing.
terrible Wi-Fi.
No, he's gonna do it.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
I knew it.
I'm sweating. I'm laughing so hard I'm sweating. I got the sweats. This is great.
Oh my god.
All right, John, try again.
All we need is Ish's head to pop up again.
I'll never forget.
All right.
Like after you won that. Oh, is he ready?
I think he's doing it on purpose.
After you won that classic in Louisiana, I was working it like a chode, just working. And so I went by because I knew you won. So I went to the after party, and of course I showed up late. And I show up, and there you are, just sitting there, like by yourself. So I go, and you were like on the counter. You weren't even on a chair. You were just on a counter. So I go up and sit next to you. We talked for like 10 minutes. He was like, oh, you were just, in disbelief. Like, I can't believe this just happened. Like it just happened. And I'll never forget. Tripp walks over with your check and he hands it to you.
Oh.
And you look at it, and I'm sitting right next to you. You look at it, and it's got $200,000 on it. I think that's what you won. I think it had $200,000 on it, and you show it to me, and you're like, "Wow, like that's really real. I just won that." I'm like, "Yeah." You fold it up, put it in your pocket, and then we went and had some beers. So it was really not that climactic of a story. It was just cool.
I know.
The best part
Cool
is
moment.
you probably lost the check.
I probably lost the check and had to
May
have him
have.
recut it, which is probably true.
And didn't even buy drinks that night.
Didn't buy drinks that night. No.
Oh, by the way,
Believe it or not,
since we got Freddie on, I was at the Classic in New Orleans that Kevin won. Fred, I don't know if you remember this. We were hanging out after Kevin won that. I was there with Ed Bassmaster, and we lit up Kevin's bar tab.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like we weren't really a part of the group, but he's like, "Oh yeah, just throw it on Kevin's."
Yeah. Yeah, when you win the Classic, you should expect that. You know?
It was all good company.
Well, especially once
outstanding play.
you won like your fifth
Yeah.
classic. Like just
Yeah.
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 Good move.
I want to
Those are
put
good times. Good times.
it was good times. I want to put both of you guys on the spot, and we were just talking about the Classic. For sure, the Classic was a big moment for me in my career. It was a big win. It was a life changer. I want each of you to talk about the biggest moment in your career. Both of you guys have had big wins. Talk about it. Fred, start with you. What's been one of the biggest moments of your career so far?
Well, that year 2006, when I met Julie, we actually were about to have a baby come 2007 after a few months of dating and, getting married and everything.
Yeah.
And it was the major, the Bassmaster American Major.
Man, that was an awesome
and I
win.
literally got
That was an awesome
I got
win.
T-boned. It was an unbelievable win. And I got T-boned on the way there. And I was thinking, man, I'm not going to make it there. My truck's all damaged. And I remember just like thinking in the parking lot, dude, somebody's going to walk away with $250,000 in this tournament. And I won it. And you know what? Here's a fun fact. My wife was due like during that event. And so I was ready to just jump on a plane and get to Tulsa at any moment. Never in 4 days of the tournament, of the competition, did I ever catch 5 fish.
Whoa.
I caught 3, 4, 3, and 4 in one tournament.
Wow.
So for me, it's like, dude, I don't even think that's ever happened before.
I honestly,
I really don't think that's ever happened before.
Freddie, I
especially at that magnitude.
We have Ken Duke on the
And
show.
then I made it back home.
We have Ken Duke on the show from time to time, and he brought a fact, like you just said, to light, that many of the Bassmaster Classic winners, many of them did not catch limits every day.
Wow.
To win the championships.
Interesting.
Wow.
So it's not.
I never caught one. I never caught one a single day.
That is unusual.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I didn't catch a limit every day when I won at.
I would look that one up because I don't think.
Okay, Fred. wait.
But did you catch a limit at least one of the days?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
2 of the 3. 2 of the 4.
2 of the 4.
2.
On the
2 of the 4.
On the Delta?
Yeah.
On the Delta.
On the Delta, John?
Yeah.
That's crazy to win
Yeah.
there of
Yep.
all places.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a cool win too,
Wow.
John.
That's
that was a
incredible, John.
big one. I remember we were staying at Ish's house for that tournament, and one of the coolest things at that house that Ish had at the time, he had no furniture in the house, which was kind of cool.
Right.
So we were in a house.
He's
with
a
no
minimalist.
Yeah, he's a minimalist. He had no furniture in the house, but
Couldn't wear your shoes in there either.
you couldn't wear your shoes. No, but
everything was white.
I remember that win, and John, that one, a lot of wins for anglers sneak up on you. And that one for you, I feel like kind of snuck up on you, right?
I've never won an event that magnitude before.
Yeah.
And we were all like, my practice was awful, and I was stuck between one area that I gotten a couple bites in and then just going to something new.
Yeah.
And Ish said, you and both y'all said, just go where you have a little confidence, man, and just fish.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that sounds like a good plan. I'll just do that.
Hey, John.
And that's what ended up happening. Yo. Fred.
I remember the slough, Italian slough.
Italian
slough.
That's where it was. Yeah.
Uh-oh. What happened?
He said,
The reason I remember, because I was like, I cannot believe a tournament was won in this area. And you did it, dude. You kicked everybody's butt.
yeah, because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I didn't really.
That's
didn't.
awesome.
I'm actually
and after 2 days of that tournament, I don't know if you remember this, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, if you remember, after 2 days of this tournament, I hadn't even caught a limit both days, and I had caught like 3 7-pounders.
Yeah.
And we were talking, the three of us, we were sitting there talking. I think it was around Ish's boat, and you said, and we were like, what do you think you're on, whatever. And I said, I think I'm on the fish to win the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't get enough bites.
Yeah.
And so we rapped about it.
That's awesome.
And Mike said, I switched to fluorocarbon. I think that's a deal. I think I can get more bites.
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight fluoro.
Straight fluoro.
And Ish was like, I didn't switch to fluoro. And I said, all right. So I spooled up one rod with straight fluoro and one with straight braid.
Yeah.
and I went back out and like Ish and I talked, you and I talked, so I downsized my bait. I said, man, I just need to get a smaller bait.
Yeah.
I put that little BB cricket on with that straight, and every time I'd flip with the braid for a little bit, and then I'd flip with the fluoro, flip with the braid, and then I ended up catching them all on the fluoro and ended up winning the tournament. And I have no doubt that I never would have won that tournament if it hadn't been from our camaraderie and our discussions and all that kind of stuff, man. That's just how it happens, you know. Just and that was our mantra, you know, in our whole house. You know, whether it was Freddie there or you know, Byron or whoever was there in our house with us, we were always better together than we were separately, and that was why we shared the information like we did.
Yeah, it was good times when we could share that,
Fred.
share that general information. It's always good. Fred, I want to put you on the spot a little bit right now.
Good luck keeping up with that.
That's okay. I'm going to put Fred on the spot. Fishing BPT over at Major League Fishing, they finally changed the rule this year on being able to talk with your roommates and your partners a little bit about information. First couple years at BPT, we were really they didn't want any talking. It was awkward. Yeah, it was awkward.
Yeah.
I roomed with Ish. It felt terrible because we couldn't even have a conversation about anything.
The thing you're most passionate about.
Yeah, because you felt like you were. How important has that rule change been for you guys? Has it been nice? Has that been a good rule change?
Yeah, I think it's nice. You know, I mean, because we all room with somebody, and you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you talk. You know, you accidentally say something, then you freak out. The whole time all you're thinking about is, oh my gosh, I get a polygraph. I'm gonna fail it. You know what I mean, or something like that, because you accidentally said you flipped one, or you know, or whatever, just something silly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it definitely it relaxed it, and it made it more enjoyable for sure. I think it was a good decision. What's that?
Fred, I don't even fish over there. And I've told Timmy Horton the last 2 years, that's a terrible rule. I think it needs to go away. And I was like, the camaraderie that you have within your houses, man, just talking fishing, man. You just want to talk fishing. That's all we do. Like we're talking fishing right now.
Yeah.
We just want to talk fishing. It's fun. And, I'm glad that's gone. I'm glad they
changed that. Yeah, that needed to happen.
Yeah, no, I think it was needed, much needed.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I tapped the Zoom thing, I lost you guys. Where are you at?
We see you, Freddie. You got a great signal when you just stay still.
Yeah.
So get this. I took it off Wi-Fi.
Wow.
I took it off Wi-Fi, and now I can hear you guys because everything was super slow-mo. Like your voices were slow-mo. Like, and I was trying to.
Your cell signal. Yeah. Your cell signal's better than Wi-Fi. I got it.
Don't change.
That's terrible when I pay $150 a month for Wi-Fi.
You're getting screwed.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. I see John. Hey, John.
Hi, John. Hi, John. I want to hit something to both of you guys because both of you guys are really, really good at doing this. We have a lot of people watching and listening right now that aspire to do what you guys are doing. John, Fred, you are both two of the best at designing lures. Seriously, when I look back in the history of baits that you guys have designed, John on the soft bait side, on the jig side, Freddie on the soft bait side, on the hard bait side, on the frog side. Talk a little bit about that because we got a lot of people watching and listening right now that want to do that. They aspire to do that. John, start with you. Talk about that bait design process.
Yeah, I mean, over the last 10 years, I've learned a ton about the soft plastic side. You know, on the hard bait side, you know, it's 15 years going. It's been a lot to learn. But there's a lot to both sides of it, and if somebody is wanting to get into it, the first thing that I would tell them is to, in whatever category you want to learn about, whether it's soft plastics or square bills or deep cranks, get every model that you can think of in that category, and then test it, see what it does, compare it to the other ones within the category, and just spend time studying that. I mean, I've spent countless hours on the side of a dock watching baits go through the water, in a pool, watching baits go through the water. You see all that stuff, and you see patterns once you start seeing bill angles, line tie positions, and then on the soft plastics, you see tails, you see, different types of tails, whether it's ribbon tails or boot tails on a swim bait. You see patterns about things that happen. And that's how you learn how making certain adjustments is going to make certain adjustments for a future bait. So it's really a wild process. There is no steadfast rules on almost anything. So, and that's the neatest part of the whole program, in my opinion, is that there is nothing that is like, oh, well, you can't do that because it won't work.
Yeah.
Just take that, throw it out the window, and go study other baits and see what they do, and then come up with your own stuff. There's nothing more rewarding as a bass angler.
Yeah, it's got to feel good, man. I know I've got a few out there, and Pete, you've designed lures, and Fred, you've got you have a name on every kind of category out there. It's got it's got to feel good, right? It's got to feel good to see those baits in the wild after all these years.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually, right out of high school, I worked for a company making spinner baits. So I would literally, for 7 hours, sit there and make spinner baits.
Yeah.
And it was just learning, how to obviously build baits is kind of important when you're trying to design something. But like John said, you got to go out there and you got to know what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to figure out a way to make a bait with treble hooks go through the grass, for instance, I grew up fishing the California Delta. It was a tidal fishery, and I wanted to have a bait, a treble hook bait, not a hollow belly frog, but a treble hook bait that I could reel through the grass as the tide's going down. So I needed the bait to actually deflect the treble hooks a little bit from getting caught up in the grass. And that's when I came out with the Rumba, the topwater wake bait.
Yeah.
And literally you could throw that through milfoil as the tide's coming down and reel it right through it without getting hung up. And it was all in getting the wobble right. And it really was inspired, other baits inspire baits. I mean, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
The Baby 1- is what inspired it for me.
Heck yeah.
1- crankbait, because you could really reel that through some shallow water vegetation. But I wanted my bait to wake. I wanted it to be kind of like a frog, but I wanted treble hooks on it. And that was, where. And this isn't something that you just do and then all of a sudden, voila, the bait's available. It takes almost 2 years to really produce a bait, in my opinion, to get it right, because there's so much trial and error and getting the weight right. Is it 19 grams? Is it, whatever it is, to get it to do what it wants, what you want it to do. And, like if you're trying to make a bait suspend, how much little lead strippings do you have to put around the treble hook to make it do that? We used to take little speed traps and wrap, I'm giving up some secrets here, but red wire around the front hook until you can make it suspend. So in the wintertime, when the fish are suspended around the marinas, you just crank it 2 or 3 times and it gets that real quick action, but then just sits there.
Yeah.
And it sits there forever. And little tricks like that, help. And then you're like, what, if I have to do this to tweak something, why can't I just come out with my own bait that does it?
Yeah.
Without so
tweaking.
someone doesn't have to.
Yeah. Freddie hit the nail on the head right there.
You see Freddie pause when he said that about the speed trap?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
did.
like, oh,
yeah, he did.
damn it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
Oh, shit. Slipped out.
Well, speed trap is,
just like,
that's still a good crankbait. Still a good in-demand crankbait for a lot of people.
No doubt. Excellent cold water crankbait.
Cold water crankbait for sure.
Yeah. I'm just, I got the room with JC practicing for the Classic. Me, you, and Ish shared a house for a little while.
Yep.
And Freddie, I roomed with you a few times, and
we did the Everstarts back in the day.
And when you won, fishing a frog in open water, and educated me about how to do that. I mean, and of course, me and you roomed together. Ish was in there, but the thing that it's weird. I'm listening to everybody talk, and it's in common, and I missed it. I missed it so much when you and I stopped rooming together, because it's like that excellence, that drive that not everybody has it.
Yeah.
And that positive energy.
Yeah.
That runs around a house, like when you're rooming with John and Ish, and Freddie and you. I mean, it's like it's hard to replace that.
Yeah.
You know?
It is, and I would call it an energy. And one of the really cool things that I got to experience this year was I got to film this show called My World, and it was really cool because I got to be with athletes in other sports. Dude, that energy is real, and there's no coincidence. Yeah, there's no coincidence why a guy's at top in football or hockey or soccer or tennis, and Johnny and Ish and Freddie are who they are, because they're some of the best in the world.
Yeah.
And that energy comes through. And when you room with those people, I think it does bring your level up as well. You know?
It does. It's like an excellence.
100%.
It's an excellent.
Hey, that reminded me of a story I'd really like to tell if we could. A couple, I don't know, it was probably like, I don't know, 07, 08, somewhere in that range. Don't quote me, but me, you, Mike, me and you and Ish were in a house at Lake Oneida, and it was towards the end of the year. And for the previous year, I had totally sucked. It was the worst year I ever had on tour. I finished 70 something. The next year, the first couple tournaments, I'd not done well, but then I started fishing a little bit better, and I was doing a little bit better. And it was the night before the tournament, and we'd practice our balls off for 3 days, and we were in there doing tackle, just getting stuff ready. And, the three of us were just in there, and me and Ish are talking, and we're talking about what's going. Hey, so we're talking about Bassmaster and what they're doing, and the payouts need to be this and whatever we were talking about. And Mike, you go. You just stopped me. Hold on a sec, John. Hold on a sec. Do you have any of those number 3 treble hooks? The round bend bronze ones.
Fully tanned.
Yeah.
Bronze hooks.
He's like, I'm gonna throw a chug bug because I haven't thrown a chug bug, and sometimes they eat a chug bug when it gets slick.
It's true.
Can I get one of the? I need just one for the front, just one of those. Yeah. So I dug in my box and I snagged him one, a brand new one. He's like, okay, thanks. Y'all keep talking. I mean, it hit me like a load of bricks, like straight across the forehead, because he didn't give a rat's ass what we were talking about. All he was concerned about was one other bait that he might be able to tie up and throw, not even his main stuff. Like, this was like back up to the backup throw that might actually catch him a smallmouth during the course of the tournament. And I don't know why, probably meant nothing to you, Mike, but to me, it was like a brick hitting me in the head.
Wow.
Dude, you need to like stop talking about what you're talking about, and you need to start talking about bronze treble hook because that is what matters. That is the only thing that matters. And you were talking about how talking to those other professionals, and you got that aura, and you got that confidence, you got that feeling, because those dudes are in the zone all the time. The dudes that are in their profession, I've not been quite around as many as you have, but I've been around a number of other professionals in other sports. And those dudes, they don't give a rat's ass about that other stuff, man. They don't care. They care about what matters to them in their sport, in their profession, and that's where they keep their focus. And that's why, it's so much fun. It's so cool to hear that from you about your experience with My World and those shows. They're so much fun to watch because I know that you're just like sucking in that confidence in those air, and I wish I could get it from them too.
That's cool, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because I did want to say something. And Freddie, I think you've done in your career, you've done a great job at sheltering out all that talk, right? The politics and the gossip. Fred, you've done a great job at that. And I'm going to
Thank
be
you.
honest. I just want to be honest with everybody right now. I don't think I've ever talked about this and admitted this, but one of the reasons I took a break, took a break from the sport, and I'm just being honest, is I started getting bogged down in the politics and the negative energy, some of the stuff that was going on in the circuit that I was fishing at the time. And it was changing for me because
exhausting.
it was exhausting, right? Because I was getting sucked into a place that I hadn't been before and thinking about the negative stuff and the bigger the league and this and that. And I went down that road, and it literally brought me out of the sport. It took me away because I wasn't having fun anymore. I didn't want to be a part of that. And this break for me has been very refreshing, and it's felt good. And I'm glad you told that story, John and Fred. I'm envious of you for being able to block all that out. And
I have a question for these guys.
Yeah.
Because after rooming with Mike, I haven't roomed with you for a while, and I got to room with you again this year. And I want to hear you guys' impressions, Fred and John, about the biggest problem about rooming with Mike.
That's
He
easy.
doesn't bring food.
Well,
The broken stuff.
the broken stuff and all that stuff. But here's my obstacle about rooming.
Oh, jeez, it's an obstacle.
Rooming with Mike.
Wow, it's an obstacle.
Is I have never heard Mike have a bad practice day. And it can be overwhelming to me. Like I've just battled 3 5-foot waves, got 2 bites, my equipment all broke down, and I come back to the house, and Mike's like, I found 5 mega schools.
Pete, you missed the one thing that I have acknowledged like early on. Mike's a lot freaking better than I am. That's just gonna happen. If he finds 5, if I can find 2, huge win.
Yeah. Well, see, I started doing all kinds of psychological tricks to myself. Like when Mike catches a 2-pounder on TV, he says it's a 5. So maybe when he says he's got 3 mega schools, he's only got 1.
Yeah.
So I'm not that far behind.
Well, there is
maybe I can catch up.
There is truth to that.
There's
There
a
is
lot of
there
truth
is
to
truth to that. There is truth to that. But let me tell you, if you're watching and listening right now, and this is something I've never talked about, but I want to be honest about it. It's Ike Live.
Oh boy.
I think making yourself believe that something is unbelievable and great is a very good tool to help you in your fishing. 100% some of the
Optimism.
mega
Pure
schools that I
optimism.
found
He's
over
gonna
the
will that fish.
I'm
back.
telling you,
Huge.
when you think positively, it breeds positive stuff, right? So
Yes.
some of those schools I found maybe weren't mega schools.
I knew it.
But in my mind, I imagined they were mega schools, And honestly, it's a game that you play.
Yeah.
And even when I catch a fish, every time I set the hook, I believe it's a big one, and I all the way till it's in the boat, because if you're fighting it like it's a 5-pounder, you're taking your time. You've got confidence. You believe. You know what I mean? You're putting yourself in the right frame of mind. And so lying to yourself is okay. Sometimes.
I got to adopt this strategy.
You might have to.
Because I was always like, I'm saying I'm on 3-pounders. They're probably 3.5, but I downgrade it. I downgrade it, so that I don't get disappointed when I show up on tournament day.
Oh no.
And you go the opposite
I go the opposite
way.
way.
Here's my problem with it.
Yeah.
It's constant disappointment.
It's
If you set the hook and you believe it's a 5-pounder every
Yeah.
time, and every time it's 2 pounds,
Yeah.
that's disappointment every time.
How do you deal with that?
It doesn't do you any good to set
Not
the hook
well.
and say
Haven't you
small
seen
one.
the break rods?
I'm just saying, it's like I'd rather be like, oh shit, it's a big one. You know what I mean? Like I don't even think about vacation until it's like the day of. All right, good. Now, because I'm always like, it probably won't happen. You know what I mean? It's gonna rain, or, you know. Something.
All right, now I know you put me on the spot on that one, and I'll let John and Fred answer too. But I want to put Ish on the spot real quick. Why he's not here to defend himself? But Fred and John, you guys know, and Pete, you know. Ish is always catching them on a frog and flipping. Everywhere we go. I don't care if it's freaking
St. Lawrence.
I don't care if it's St. Lawrence or Lake Mead or anywhere. He's always finds a way to frog and flip them everywhere we go. And that was mind-boggling to me all those years, you know? I never understood, but he's always catching them on a frog.
Did it change you? Did you like, I got to go frogging for an hour? At practice.
I wondered a lot, like how I missed it, you know, but it happens sometimes.
My only question for Ish was like, what color was the frog, black or white? And he would be like, white, black, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that was like, all right, I knew what frog to tie on in case I wanted to go do that. Like that was the quickest way to do it. Becky, I want to ask you if you remember the story about me and Ish coming in to help. You were trying to help Mike put some luck with his sandwich in that whole situation. If you want to,
no,
she doesn't want to. So Mike, you know, over the years, he gets better luck under certain situations. And
superstitious.
Very.
I think that some people are superstitious, and Becky's one of those. And there was one day that we were all rooming together, and Becky had made Mike sandwiches, and she was getting ready to put them into the refrigerator. But before she did, she wanted to rub some special Mojo.
They were in plastic bags though, but
and that we knew, me and Ish at the time we're walking back into the room at the time that this was happening, and Becky didn't realize we were walking back into the room.
There's a few times
and
so
she's doing this, and she turns her head and looks at me and Ish, and we look at her in the middle of the Mojo session, and we didn't know what to say. And she says,
I doubt that's true. I'm sure it didn't happen that you didn't know what to say. Have you ever not known what to say?
I mean,
we didn't know what to say. We didn't.
Are you trying to tell me
if me and Ish don't know what to say, that's saying something.
Are you trying to tell me, John, in all your life, you never saw a woman, a wife, a girlfriend rub a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on her crotch before?
No one said it had to be my crotch.
It was your crotch.
I didn't know what to say. Like
I was wondering where we were going with this.
Is that where it was?
That was fun.
Hold on.
I just didn't know what to say.
John,
it was awesome. I was like, I don't have that. I need a rub for my sandwich. Where's my sandwich? I didn't have that.
I want a sandwich.
Well, disappointing for me. I'm happy for Mike. Really, that was
Sherry's
honestly,
cookies and Becky's sandwiches.
Sherry's cookies.
Life has gotten so much more boring since
Oh,
then.
I know. Life's got more, but.
Hey, Julie, I need a sandwich.
Oh, Sam.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that. The shit you do to be funny and then you get caught.
I don't know.
Is that not the story of my life? Like, I say shit all the time that shouldn't be said. Or like, hey, how's your girlfriend doing? Oh, she dumped me last month. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. So, like, of course. Like,
they were good sandwiches. That's all. They tasted really good. I don't care if it brought me luck or not. They tasted pretty damn good.
You had a good,
I bet they were.
I believe.
well, at least when I lived with you, I made food too.
You did make
because
food. Yeah.
I don't think Mike's ever made a meal.
Sandwiches for everyone?
Very few.
Well, we have a talking about rooming with Mike, there's definitely a rule we had, and a lot of people have asked me over the years, what's it like to room with Iaconelli? It's like, oh, it's great. It's like usually it was me and Ish and Ike, and Ish would do the cooking and I would do the cleaning, and then Mike would do the eating.
Hey, in all fairness,
would do his tackle.
Mike would go and get a duffel bag full of honey buns.
That's right. I brought the honey buns. That's right.
Yeah, he would have honey buns as his breakfast, lunch, snacks, everything
Dinner?
on the boat.
Everything.
And I'm thinking, man, if I did that, I would be the fattest guy on tour.
He's eating one a day. Literally.
The other gross thing that Mike does is he hits a fast food restaurant and orders like 10 sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
And that's his food for the week.
Yeah, just throw him in the cooler.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
I do same.
He's been done that for years. Yep.
I
so
don't want to hear
gross.
about
Mike.
your health problems then, guys. That's a great move.
Not advocating it to anybody, but it did. It served its purpose.
McMuffins.
It's time efficient, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Sausage McMuffins, man.
I have more stories about rooming with Mike.
Oh no!
That's better than John's.
Pete, did you make him sandwiches?
Oh no!
I didn't eat those. They were camel toe and cheese sandwich. I didn't eat those.
Pete sandwiches.
He didn't win the tournaments that year.
They smelled a little funky. I didn't want to touch those, man. They smelled bad.
Sausage.
Sausage, egg, and cheese. Pete's sausage.
Honey bun and sausage sandwiches.
Yuck.
We tell this story. We've told this story many times, but it's a classic. We were like Lake Gunnersville, and Uncle Don was there. We had this. We were on Spring Creek at the Spring Creek house.
Uncle Don. Shout out to Uncle Don.
Uncle Don.
Yeah, Uncle Don.
Uncle Don.
Yeah.
And Uncle Don was frantically helping you, re-spool all your spinning rods and all your rods, and all the rods were inside the living room, and me and you both explode into a room with tackle and rods, and it's everywhere. And I'm not sure if I learned it from you or vice versa, but we just do that, and you're about to retie this one spinning rod, and you're looking at it, and you notice that a ceramic is missing out of one of the eyes on the spinning rod. And you look at Uncle Don, it's like, Uncle Don, did you do this one? and Uncle Don's like, what? And it's like it was like the only spinning rod in that action or that model or whatever it is. And Ike lost. Ike went Ike. And Ike did what he did, and he starts throwing a fit, and he spins around. He's got this rod, and he smashes it on the coffee table, just like this one right here. And the spinning rod fractures into a and I'm like standing there working on my rod. I'm froze, like this is really the first time I've seen this, And the rod fractures and goes crazy. And Uncle Don's starting to, chastise you, like, calm down, you're acting crazy. And
Uncle Don did exactly that.
And the rod smashes, and you're not done. You still have to abuse something. And the rod's only 4 feet tall, so you start piercing the wall of the house, stabbing the wall over and over and over again. And I don't think I blinked or breathed. I mean, I didn't know what the hell was happening to me, And that was the first. That was the first. I became accustomed to this type of reaction from time to time.
That's so funny, because can we all remember the first time we saw Mike freak out? Like, John, Fred, do you remember the first time you saw it?
Oh, I do, dude. 100%. I remember. We were all in the living room. I thought that for a second that Pete was telling my story, because we were all sitting around there doing tackle, and Mike's putting his line through the guides, and then he goes, "Oh, this guide is missing." missing the eyelet. What the hell? Like he just loses it and thrashes the rod against the wall like 10 times. And it was one of those wood paneling walls. It was just some junk trailer we're staying in or something. He's just smashing it against the wall. Bang, 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 bang. And I look, and Don is acting like nothing happened. He's eating his dinner like nothing is happening. And I looked at Mike and I go, what are you doing? And Mike looks at me holding like this buggy whip of a rod that's just like a limp. He's like, what? There's no ceramics in that guy. Well,
Not
throw
now.
it away. I was like, well, then throw it away. Put another one on. Like, what are you doing? And he was like, okay, I'll do that then. And it was like, and then we just kept going, like nothing had just happened. I don't know. I think that's why we balanced each other out so well. I want to hear Fred.
Oh, just the opposite. I remember looking at Pete Glusik's rods for the first time, and half of them did not have ceramic.
None of them. Not a single one had ceramic.
He's like, they work fine. These are good rods. I'm like, dude.
Wooden eyes.
Yeah, a lot of times rod makers overkill on how much eyes and ceramic you need.
Yeah, you don't need 11 guys.
Successful.
You don't need 11 guys. You need a top and a bottom. You don't need 11 of them.
That continues still, Freddie, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Those extra guys.
No, I honestly, like, Mike was super chill a lot of the times. I mean, most of the times. So, I mean,
99% he is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's little moments here and there, but his coolness always overweighed all that to me. Like, I don't know. To me, he was just more chill. And, I mean, maybe he had little moments. I remember a Gatorade flew at his camper shell one time, and that was I forgot what caused it or whatnot, but we were very something, and that was about – I mean, that was pretty much the height of it for me with you. I mean, it's always pretty cool,
Yeah. I never advocate this to anybody else, but for me it worked to like let it out, like get it out quick, and then you can move on with your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like a way for me to just push it out real quick. It's always inanimate objects. I'm never I would never do this to anybody.
Yep. Nothing ever came in my
head. I never personally want to hurt anybody or anything.
No, it's never a living thing.
It's never a living thing.
Never a living thing. It's always inanimate objects. And I feel really bad for when new people start in the business and they're in this office, because Mike will be out in the barn working on stuff. And then all of a sudden you'll just hear like, expletive, like, like, bitch, cunt, cunt. You know what I mean? And like, people are like, what is, and the office that's been here for a while, all the people just sit there typing away. Like nothing's happened, but you can see the new person's like, wait, I heard that, right? What is happening? You know what I mean? Like, and they're always freaked out. And we're like,
what's going on?
Like,
Mike can't find his scissors.
No.
The pliers are it's all right.
A ceramic is out of one of his spinning rods.
Yeah. But that was actually my story. The first temper tantrum I ever saw was we went fishing the day after we celebrated your AOY win. And it was just like a fun competition. You were there, weren't you, Bri?
Down
like
the Chesapeake?
No, we were on the Delaware.
Oh, yeah,
a whole bunch of us went out. We were in this cove. And like,
oh my God, yeah.
I can't remember what happened. Like, you missed a fish.
Yeah, we broke off a bunch of times.
A bunch of bites. And Mike's like, he takes the pliers and he like spears the bank. and I'm sitting here going, what the heck? And then like we miss another bite. He takes the seat right out of the boat and tosses it in. And I'm like, what? Like, I think this is insane. Like, what is happening here? And the first time you see it, you literally are just like, wait,
is this real?
Yeah, is this happening? So the best is he lands a fish a few minutes later. We've all seen him do that crazy, frantic run around the boat thing. And he gets the boat in, he puts it in the live well, and he's like, yes! And he like zooms over, pulls the seat out, puts it back in, and we just keep fishing.
I had to let it out.
Yeah.
Keep going on
and that was that.
Yeah.
And I was still just standing in the back of the boat going, what the hell?
I got to
But
tell
you know, it works for Mike. It works for Mike. Now, if you imagine
does.
Pete doing that, or John Cruz, or me, I mean, it would just be a little
Not
bit
so
odd.
Yeah.
It would scare people. People would be really scared.
I've explained that to many people that's how, and just at Thousand Islands, I had to explain it to a new group of people.
Oh God. Yeah, that poor door.
By the way,
That poor door.
congratulations. Congratulations,
Poor
Mike,
doorway.
Thank you.
on qualifying for everything and winning kayak tournaments.
Yes.
Thank
It
you.
just shows once you got it, you always got it. I mean,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
it's unreal. You got the choice to do whatever you want next year, and that's awesome.
Well, it
What's
felt
a great segue?
Yeah, it is a good swing. No, it felt good to compete again. Taking a few years off, felt nice to compete again, and it was a fun year for sure. 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year. Well, 2 years.
Felt like 3.
Couple months.
COVID was confusing.
COVID killed, our tour, the BPT tour. That
Oh, yeah.
year, so it's almost 2 years.
Almost.
It was
2020 was actually 2 years, and I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
It was 2 years.
Yeah. So weird.
Wow.
I like it.
So
Yeah.
weird. So
Yeah.
weird. I'll change topips, and
Fact. Look
I
it up.
real quick put it on
Good
Fred. Fred,
Uh-oh.
great last tournament of
Yes.
the year
Oh.
on St. Clair. What a great
We're
way
all
to,
pulling for you,
what
buddy.
a great way to end the regular season. Talk a little bit about that. When people think of Boom Boom, they think of heavy line, swim baits, frogs, braid, shallow water. Catching them smallmouth out there. Talk a little bit about that. That's got to feel
Man,
good.
I'll tell you, I enjoy the heck out of them smallmouth. I really do. I just don't get the fish for them enough. So when the option's there, I'm going to go for smallmouth almost every time. And it's funny because I'm sure without anyone knowing, they just assumed I was probably catching largemouth. But I love it. And with the forward facing sonar we all have now, it really helps me learn the behavior of the fish. So if they weren't looking at my drop shot or they were chasing the weight more than that, I knew I could pick up a reaction bait, a crankbait, or a spinner bait and get them to fire on it. And I was just having fun. I mean, I was out there having a blast. And I'll tell you, I mean, I may not have won the tournament or anything like that, but I had 23 pounds for 5 that last day on a crankbait. And, that was an incredible day. That was the best day of smallmouth fishing I've ever had. And I think it was the best 5 fish limit. Not that matters. But overall, it was just exciting. I mean, I wasn't on fish that I could catch them nonstop all day long. There was definitely windows of opportunity, and I took advantage of those opportunities. But to get a 7th place and
Freddie, on your forward facing, do you have a forward facing and the perspective, or just one or the other?
No, I just got forward facing. I would love to have both. I mean, that would be really cool. I think I'm gonna try to do that next year for sure. I seen Dave Mullins made a post having the perspective mode and the forward. I'm like, dude, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But no, I just got forward, and I just scan back and forth all the time with it. Now, what I do is I have 2 graphs. So the other one's going side imaging and mapping. So I'm splitting the side imaging. So I'm going forward. If I see some rocks off to the side or this or that, I know I've already kind of passed them with my trolling motor, but I can scroll over, waypoint it, and then I can fire my cast over there and look at it with live scope. And, just utilizing the other technology that I got that, it really helps. And sometimes I'll even use the transducer on the back of the boat up front if I'm doing a backwards drift. Now think about this. If you're backwards drifting at the St. Lawrence River, for instance, and you've got your transducer on the front of your boat and you're picking up the back transducer, right? So you're looking at your front graph, and you're picking up the back side imaging, you're going to hit the boulders before they get to you. So you can almost do a parallel and you can look at it. So I got really good at using what I've got technology wise. And, I feel I can compete with anybody with that stuff. I love frogging. I love going shallow. So, it's hard. It's hard for me to do that. And as a matter of fact, my backup plan, this is crazy, because my backup plan was punching some mats, and they weren't very far from where I was fishing the mouth of Erie. And when I ran over there, Andy Morgan had just flipped a 6-pounder out of the mat that I was saving. So, I mean, and I told my guys, I'm going to go try to get a heavy hitters fish, which is, your biggest fish throughout each event qualifies you. And so I knew I solidified. I think I was sitting in second at the time at the knockout round. And I ran over there, and sure enough, that's where he was. And I was like, oh my gosh, dang, I should have done that sooner. But but yeah, I mean, yeah, it was fun. It was a fun week.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. That was a cool
I
tournament.
appreciate it. Thank you.
That was a cool tournament to watch. Guys really catching a lot of fish up there. Mouth of Erie was a player for sure. That was crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fall, and I kind of knew that. Well, I fished there. I actually fished those same spots in that Super FLW last year when COVID hit. We got an opportunity to fish some of those FLW events, and I fished the same milk run pretty much. And most of my big fish came punching that mat.
Wow.
And then I would go back out. I fished for like an hour, smallmouth hour of that, and then I ran back to Sandusky. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was a hop, skip, and a jump from takeoff. I had to run through some pretty gnarly waves. And the boat I was running, actually, I was in 9th place out of 200 boats last year. And when I came back after dinner at 9:30, I had a hole blown out because the stringer system in that Triton actually popped through the side of the boat. It just came loose and punctured outwards from the rough water. So I was boatless. I had to borrow a boat from Terry Scroggins, and I didn't want to make that run. So
wow, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. John, I want to put it to you. Last year at Bass, interesting season, but you ended it super strong. Talk a little bit about momentum for you going into 22. How do you feel about the Bassmaster schedule coming up?
It's good, man. The whole year, I felt like last year was a lot more consistent than 20 for me. At 20, I started off really good. I sucked in the middle part, and then I came back more consistent at the end of the year. And then, this year was just more consistent, kind of start to finish.
Yeah.
Felt more, a lot better about it. I mean, I kind of tapered off it at St. Lawrence, but I finished 20th at Champlain at St. Lawrence. But next year we have kind of a similar schedule. We're going to a couple new places, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an amazing year. I think, we're starting in Florida. It's going to be St. John's version 9 or 10, whatever we're going to be when we get there. But then we're going back to the Harris Chain, which the Elite Series hadn't been back to the Harris Chain in a number of years. The Opens have been there. Other tours have been there. So that'll be a little bit different for the Elite Series. And then, the rest of the year is going to be kind of back to par, especially throwing in Oahe way up there in the middle of nowhere. But we're going further up into the lake to where it sounds like it's a lot better fishing. And I think guys are going to be surprised. So all you bass fans out there, you might want to, just circle that on your calendar to keep an eye on. I think that's really going to surprise a lot of guys at what's going to be caught at that event.
Wow, that's cool. It's boat schedules look really good. Rizzo, I know we got some questions coming through.
I have a quick question
you do?
for you.
Yeah.
Have you decided your housing and roommates for the Elite schedule this year?
Nice try, Pete. You see what he just did there?
Slick, man.
You see what he just did there?
That was slick.
I thought I was his roommate.
Such a typical Pete move right there to try to sneak me like that.
Hey,
all right,
people want to know.
I know people want to know. Rizzo, I know we got tons of IMs.
Yep.
We're backed up. We got questions for John and Freddie. What do we got coming through?
Yeah, so the question came from typically Pete. Now we're going to go with a question from theoretically Dan. And he wants to know from John and Freddie, what changed the most from pre-Becky to post-Becky? Freddie, you go first by your reaction.
Hey, you mean pre-Becky is in like when they were dating?
No,
just pre-Becky.
Pre-Becky,
post-Becky.
before Becky at all.
Oh, gotcha. Before Becky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. Mike's been the same. I mean, he's obviously.
Boo! Wrong answer.
No,
that's not fair.
allow me before John. You're next. The
typical Pete.
I love Becky. I'm like, oh, thank God he's talking to Becky now.
That's a great point, Pete.
I'm like, I'm listening, and I know his dilemma. He's going through all this stuff, and Becky's on. I'm like, Had a girl.
Poor
I'm gonna go rig some rods.
I just think poor Becky.
Yeah. No.
Pray for Becky. Sorry,
Did
Mike.
you say hashtag pray for Becky?
Hashtag pray for Becky.
I'm gonna just say the post Becky, his sandwiches got eaten.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they smell
all
better.
Of his sandwiches always got eaten.
They smell better.
Yeah.
They taste better. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot
He's
of
in a better mood
organization
in
in his
general.
life now too.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot more organization.
I will agree with that, Fred. I'll agree with that. Honestly, like it was, before we met, my life was kind of more of a shit show, and so there's more organization, and I appreciate that,
Why, thank you.
Yeah. Honestly, I and Pete, you know this. I don't think for me personally, my life or my business could be where it's at without the support and the friendship and the relationship we have. So
Sandwiches.
it's been awesome.
Thanks.
And the sandwiches. Yeah, they're really fucking good.
I think I'm his therapist half the
Yeah,
time.
therapist is
Well,
good.
Becky
It's good to
rocks.
have
Sure.
a therapist.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
You all that.
That's important.
Yeah, but I would say
Especially
that
for
I
fishermen.
would say the same for everyone that has a spouse. I would say the same for
Yeah.
Pete
Yep.
and John and Fred. I would say and Brian the
Definitely.
Carpenter. I would say
Yeah.
the same for all you
Yeah.
guys. I would.
I don't know if she ever made me them sandwiches.
And I think alcohol
Not like that.
I think alcohol consumption changes after you find a spouse, Like my alcohol consumption was different before I met you. Now it's more controlled, which is good. Yeah, speaking of alcohol consumption, the founder's beer of the night is Scarlet Dawn IPA. If you're out there watching, try this one. It's a new one. It's really good. It's very, very good. Rizzo, what else we got coming through?
Yeah, so we got one more from the lieutenant, and the lieutenant actually recalls a situation where he was at the same diner as Becky the morning that, Mike, you kicked a graph off your boat, and Becky had to come to the rescue and bring you graphs to the ramp. How many times did that happen?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember a graph being kicked off.
I don't remember it happening in the morning. Usually happens during the event, so I don't know in the morning. That must have been a unique situation. I don't remember that one.
I don't know. I did get a ticket. Well, I didn't know. I got pulled over. I didn't get a ticket because I got a call mid-tournament.
Yeah.
So, like, Mike has to call Trip and say, this happened, can I call Becky to get whatever? And I do remember having at Breakfast Club with the ladies and getting this frantic phone call. And, like, the ladies are like, we got your breakfast. Go, go, go. Because whatever it was in my car. Or in the truck. And I'm speeding. This was Mississippi River. And, I got pulled over, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. And I think I told the officer that, too. I was like, I don't have time for this. And he's like, you have to slow down. I'm like, okay, I'll drive the speed limit. If you just let me go, just let me go. and I did. I got to the ramp with whatever it was.
Yeah, something I needed for the
I don't know if it was
launch.
a trolling motor. I just remember, having to.
Yeah.
Like, you were on the water and something went wrong.
Yeah.
A phone call during Breakfast Club is the worst thing.
Oh my
from
God,
the
your heart stops. Any phone call mid-tournament, like I got,
yeah.
I got
Shirley
the
would
call.
tell me about those.
Yeah, like I would get a call, like the call at the Sabine River when you were in the trees.
Yeah, put the boat in the woods.
So like there's no good phone calls
Right.
mid-tournament.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pre-tournament. I called Shelly once at the James River when I didn't have my insurance papers, and they wouldn't let me leave.
And you were leading the event.
I was leading the event,
Yeah.
and they would not. They let all the other boats go, and I
way.
called Shelly at 5 a.m.
Oh,
and I'm
man.
like, I can't even guide you, but you have to go into my office, and you have to find updated insurance papers because my insurance company's West Coast, so they're not even gonna be open for hours.
Yeah.
And she, got out of some. I don't know. She can find anything, but she went in there, and 15 minutes later, I'm sitting there. It's dead silence. Like the Bass officials won't even talk to me.
Wow.
Right? Everybody's afraid to make a
God.
noise, and it's
15 minutes probably felt like
Oh,
hours.
yeah.
I'm like I
eternity.
can't believe I'm so stupid. I was so mad at myself, because I was up to date, but I just didn't have the paperwork in the
Right.
boat, and bloop, text comes up on my phone. She found him, took a picture, Showed it to the tournament director. I lost 15 minutes. Is
Wow.
all I lost.
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you, Shelly.
Yeah.
was
Shout out to
wonderful.
Shelly. That was nice.
She's a
nice.
saint.
Shout out to
That
Spout.
woman's a saint.
Carol,
She is.
Carol had to do that for us. We were on the road one time, and you had to show proof of insurance, and we realized that we only had the old because we'd been on the
Right.
road for so long
Yeah.
that she'd gotten it all renewed, but we hadn't been home to
Right.
actually get the
Get the
paperwork
Yeah.
from Carol.
Yeah.
And so she had to email it over.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Question on the message board: how's her sandwich?
It's pretty good. The sandwich. is
Shelly
good.
sandwich?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spectacular.
fantastic.
Everybody's sandwiches. I do have a question. This one's for Fred, and this is totally selfish and personal on my side. Fred, are you fishing the U.S. Open this year?
You know, I haven't even thought about it. I'll be honest with you.
You ain't thought
I
about
enjoyed
it.
the heck out of it.
Yeah,
Are
like
you
next
fishing
week?
it?
I'm fishing it. So this is my first U.S. Open ever.
Oh my gosh, so fun.
Just give me a general piece of advice I need to follow to have a successful event there.
Well, I'm going to tell you, when you run through the Narrows, you've been to Las Vegas. You fished like me before, right?
I've never fished Lake Mead. Zero times.
Okay, so you better have plenty of Gatorade and cold drinks because it's a heat tunnel. Like it might be 119, but when you go through that, it's like 140.
Wow.
And you're going to get thirsty halfway running. I promise you.
Wow.
It's the
That's
weirdest
so
thing.
cool.
Wow.
But you'll love it. The fishing's awesome. And I'll tell you, it's a unique format because you're going to be fishing where you're fishing a shared weight with your co-angler. So
right. Very
have,
unique.
have,
Cool.
a, some-
Co-anglers.
have an idea what you want them to throw behind you, whether it's a finesse tactic or whatnot, where you can power fish, because that usually blends really well.
Wow.
I
I
finished.
didn't realize that.
I've had some good U.S. Open. I think 10th is probably the best I've ever done, but I've usually stuck with the reaction bait and let them do the drop shot if possible, but
Yeah.
or some kind of wacky rig or whatnot. But it's a fun event. I mean, I think it's a 3-day event, and you're going to draw a different co-angler every day. And
That's cool.
but, here's a cool thing. Carl Jacobson came from Australia. He won it as a co-angler, to come to the U.S. and fish the co-angler. He drew me, and we hit it off. And he had actually caught a 3-pounder on like 1 pound test. It was the weirdest thing I ever seen. He was using the lightest line I've ever seen. And he catches his 3-pounder. I was like, dude, that's a big. And it ended up being one of the big, might have been the big fish of the day. So we got to, and then he ended up second. I ended up 10th in that tournament. And, I told him, I said, dude, you're a natural fisherman. And then several years later, he shows up at West Point at one of our elite tournaments. He just across the world by himself, lost. I'm like, dude, come travel with us. And then he pretty much lived with us for about 2.5 years after that. Now he's winning elite tournaments. So, I mean, dude, it's cool the people you meet, but it's a fun event. And,
So
it's awesome.
So should Mike stock some 1 pound test?
No.
No. You don't need to go that light.
That scares me.
Oh my gosh.
I broke a fish off at Table Rock one year and on 4 pound. And from that moment on, I vowed to never use anything lighter than 5 pound and up.
Okay.
Is that the one you jumped in for?
Oh yeah, that's the one I jumped in for.
That was dope.
Yeah.
I think it's 1 pound at the time was 1 pound diameter braided line. So it's really, probably,
Okay.
but still it was a lot thinner than anything I used at the time.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was nerve wracking for
I
sure.
actually have 1 pound test.
Wow.
Yeah, it just breaks
It's
like
like
that.
dental floss.
It's like hair.
Yeah.
What's
Wow.
the purpose of having it?
Visibility?
I regret it.
I regret it. I regret
Making anglers suffer. That's the
Yeah,
purpose.
Yeah, give you gray hair.
I broke off a 14-incher on 2 pound test without trying. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Guys, I've got one more big topic I want to run past you, and this is Ike Live. And if I didn't ask this, I'm not doing my duty here as the host of the show. You are both very successful anglers in 2 different leagues, and I do want to bring this up, and I want to get both your opinions on this, which is I feel like there's room for 2 leagues right now, right? There's Bassmasters, there's MLF. They're both different formats.
NPFL.
They're both successful. I'm not talking about that one. Is there room for 2 leagues? And can the sport grow to its highest level with energy gone in 2 directions like that? or does it need to come back to one eventually? I want to get both your takes on that. Fred, start with you.
Well, just from a sponsor view, kind of a deal that I tell people, this is kind of a little different than what you're asking. I'm going to get to what you're asking in a second, but I feel like a sponsor is going to sponsor the angler, whether it's you, Mike, Pete, John, Ish, me, for who we are and what we've accomplished to get to where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So we've already got that established, right? Yes, I think 2 leagues is fine. I believe I got so many friends over in Bass League. I don't want this animosity between the two.
Yeah.
Because I want to fish and I want them to be successful. I want to be successful. There's several lakes. And the fun thing is when there's I mean, honestly, it would have been cool if we could have fished both to begin with.
Right.
But that's out of our hands. I mean, that's not, I was kind of bummed when they said you had to choose, but that's just part of it. Unfortunately. But I feel like, I can sit there and I can watch Bass Live when I'm not fishing a tournament, and then you guys go, watch whatever, if you're interested in watch what we're doing. But it's still, the sport is so big. And like, I'm working with the youth right now. There needs to be more than just one league for them to be able to, pick a career, because it would be it's hard enough for a professional athlete, like a football player, to make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
Especially when the colleges, that we want to encourage kids to go high school, college, and, build, some stability in their life. But if there's only one league and it's only offering X amount of spots, and you got all these kids out there trying to be it, it just makes it that much more difficult for them. And I've got boys that want to fish. I want them to have options. It doesn't matter to me where they want to go as far as what league. I just want them to be successful and do what they love, and that is ultimately fishing.
Yeah, that's a good point, right, Pete? Multiple leagues, more opportunities for
new people,
new people, more opportunities to advance through the levels. I think that's a good point.
I love that point.
Yeah,
well thought out, Fred, and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
honestly.
John, let's give me your opinion on 2 leagues. Is there enough room for 2 leagues?
Well, basically, I agree with Freddie 100%. But we had 3 leagues, and one of the leagues acquired one of the other leagues. So now it's kind of knocked the old FLW league down into like the minor league for the BPT. And if that's the way that we're looking at it, I think there is 2 pro top level trails is good.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. There needs to be competition, and there needs to be enough digestible tournament information coming at all the aspiring anglers like Freddie was talking about. There needs to be stuff coming from them, coming to them, in a consistent basis for a chunk of the year, when I think there's any overlaps and instances where guys can't either fish both, or look at John Cox, man. He wants to fish. He wanted to fish everything.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, it's just gotten to where he can't, he wants to fish more. He can't. And now, next year there's the classics the same week as one of the BPTs. I mean, I don't even know what he's going to do. It's just kind of unfortunate, because the fans just want to watch guys fish.
Right.
Like Fred was saying, man, guys just want to watch guys fish.
Right.
I mean, y'all are, like Fred, and when Fred's, you always watch him catch them old tank smallmouth on a crankbait. I wouldn't have guessed it. I figured he would have done the largemouth thing, but it was cool. It was cool to watch. Mike Iaconelli just put a spectacle on and made a mockery of everybody in the entire field.
That was
crazy.
That,
good for Michael, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a super underrated fisherman, really, really good guy, and does everything the right way. So I was happy to see him win that. So I watch everything. I think there's room for 2.
Yeah.
But they've got to. I agree with Fred. Like whoever has to lay off the Jets needs to lay off the Jets, because just chill on that stuff, man. Just let it coexist and let it have fun and let it fester. And but competition in a gentlemanly way is good.
Yeah, Brian.
That's a great. Hold on, Freddie.
Brian Carter,
so I got a question that come across the message board from somebody.
Probably.
Easy answer. True or false? Total bitch move to schedule an event on top of the Classic. Freddie, Johnny, we'll start with you.
Yeah, hit
You want me
me.
to answer?
Yes.
Or I
don't know how to respond to that. I can't even fathom
well, I
somebody.
can
would,
answer. I can answer.
um,
It won't. It
would
won't
do that for a pro level. Now, if it was like a Toyota Series, a lower level, it makes perfect. That's fine. There's
Yeah.
only so many weeks in the year, but to have another top level, I mean, BPT and they've really raised the bar on their stuff, man. They've done a good job. And so to put it right up against the Classic, I just don't understand the reasoning or the logic behind doing it.
Yeah,
But
I'll answer
I don't
because I can step in and answer because I have no
allegiance
to anyone, and I at this moment in time currently Pete's trying to make me talk here, but at this moment in time I can be honest and say that I feel like it's on us, and when I say us, it's the pro anglers, right? It's on us to hold our leagues accountable for their actions. And I'm going to be honest, and John and Fred, I'm going to be honest, this is nothing against you guys or either leagues that you fish, but the problem even after the split, post-split, is the anglers never took control or responsibility of their own fate. And that was unfortunate, right? Because the split to me was about the anglers taking control of their own destiny. And it's unfortunate that it never happened, And,
Right.
and as much as I agree with you guys, there's room for two leagues. I like the BPT. I love Bassmasters. I like ML. I like them both. But the anglers still don't have a say in either league. And that's a shame because if we held them accountable, we could fish both leagues. We would hold them accountable to not overlap events. So as a professional, we could fish both leagues, maximize our income, maximize our fan base, but we never took advantage of that moment. And that's a shame. So a lot of that I put on us.
Mike,
I put it on us.
During the split, Mike, me and you, Freddie was with us, Ish was with us, and we had a handful of other dudes who were with us.
A lot of people.
We tried to unite the guys, and they basically, the majority of them pussed out.
Yeah.
They totally copped out, pussed out, and coddled to whoever was telling them not to join what we were talking about and do what we were talking about. And so sometimes you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him put a bathing suit on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's always been a problem, though.
It's always been a problem.
It's always been a
hard
problem
to get 300 guys on the same page.
Back in the beginning when there was just one league.
Right.
The anglers could not get together. Why is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it because I always felt like guys felt that they were so lucky to be able to make a living fishing that they didn't want to rock the boat. They were afraid to take a stand. They're like thankful they got this thing going on.
Yeah.
And that's what I always felt was the big blocker.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think you're Pete. I think you're kind of right. I think a lot of the anglers that didn't jump in just didn't understand exactly what angler independence meant. It didn't mean we were trying to down the leagues and make them go away. It just meant we wanted to have a say. As a group, we wanted to have a say and have some input to where we could make things not just better only for the anglers. We wanted to make it better for everybody, and especially the next generation of anglers wanted to make it a better place for them to come into. And I know that's what me and Mike, that's our common thing, is we want it to be better for the next generation coming into the sport. And that's where a lot of the old timers, they're like, well, my sponsor ain't going to like that. Just dude, come on, get out of here with that shit.
Come on with it.
Wow, that was a good accent. I like that one. That was a good.
We
I'm not gonna say it was
we
one
tried
particular angler, but it may have been.
We did try to unite back in the day with the PAA.
We
Remember
did.
the PAA?
Yeah, we tried it.
Sure.
We tried this before, and it obviously didn't work out.
Right.
But kind of to rewind a little bit, when Bassmasters was originally the tour before it was the Elites, I got to fish that 1 year before the Elites. Then the FLW tour came out with the higher payouts, right? And then all of a sudden next year we got the Bassmaster Elites, the higher payouts. Having two tours, it's going to always raise the bar. So if one tour does one step higher, the next one's going to go higher. And so right now, unfortunately, that's what we need, because my opinion, we should be fishing for $1 million every tournament.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be watching people play poker for $1 million. We should be fishing for $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so until that happens, until the real payouts are out there, I mean, I just want guys to enjoy their lives, fish, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to support all my Bassmaster Elite friends, you know, and everybody that fishes with me, and just we're all doing it together, even though we're not together in the same league.
Yeah. Yeah, Fred.
I like
Way
it.
to say it, Fred.
Dude, 100%.
Yeah.
100% what Freddie just said. Yeah, absolutely.
I just to put things in perspective, I got a chance to film a My World episode and fish with and golf with Marina Alex. She was great. She's a LPGA golf pro, and we were chatting a little bit about the sport and the level that the sport got to, you know, and is currently. And she's like, yeah. You know, she was like, yeah, I had a pretty bad tournament, the last one. I came in like, you know, 74th. And I'm like, well, what was the payout for that? She was like $130,000. And I was like,
exactly, right there. Exactly.
And not one fish was caught.
Right. 74 is
stupid ball.
$130,000.
Let me weigh in just a minute, because I finished second place on the Potomac River in 1776.
Our forefathers.
it was I think it was 1996 or 95. I finished second place. Beat Kevin Van Dam, who finished third, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations.
I won.
I
won a Ranger boat for second place.
Yeah.
In that tournament, and Ken Duke is in light. The payouts in the tournaments, it's been 20 years, and they've stayed the same.
Pretty stagnant.
They haven't gone
stagnant
up
or down.
Yeah. It just.
Well, that's back to my point. We can't bitch and complain about what tour at all when the payouts are not very good to begin with, and either one of them.
Yeah.
We're not competing with other sports. We are not. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying it.
No, I'll say it for you, Fred. What do you want me to say?
Truth. And for people to get upset and
text me
and bad talk, whatever they want to do, it's like, dude, we're just trying to make a living, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, back to the original question from somebody on the message board, maybe. I see the Classic's going to happen next year, and there's a lot of guys that aren't going to be there, and the people that are really getting screwed, you guys are getting screwed because you're not going to be able to be there to support your sponsors. That might have an effect on you guys, you know, the BPT anglers.
Yeah.
But the fans.
I
look at it from
what
the fans.
Hurts. That hurts
the fans. Are the ones that are getting effed over by some dirty old vampires trying to dominate the league over there. And so, love you guys.
And it's unfortunate. I agree with Fred and with Brian that a lot of the guys are getting caught in the middle of whatever kind of pissing contest is going on, because and now, I mean, how are the guys that are fishing the Bassmaster Classic, how are they supposed to go work the Red Crest when BPT is obviously trying to have an event right on top of the Classic? Like, how are they why would they go work that?
Yeah.
You know, when, you know, it's just like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, you know, either way. And it's unfortunate, because I really, you know, was trying to consider what it would be like to go work the Red Crest. Like, is it worth my time? You know, are we going to have a display, you know, with missile, or what are we going to do? But then after that, it's like shot across the bow. Then it does. I don't know what to do now. I mean, I just don't.
They're forcing you and all other companies to make a choice, and with intent, right? They're trying to make companies make a choice. And
Yeah, it's unfortunate, really. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
And
It's messed up.
I just
It's like you have a falling out with your friend, so you decide to like have a party, knowing that it's their birthday party, just to try to get all your friends to come to your party to screw them at their birthday
Right.
party.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's so
Good analogy.
childish.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
childish.
Good
Like
analogy.
I don't understand why they can't coexist and support each other. Like I just feel like this move, it was childish.
sets us back.
Small
It sets
penis.
us back a year, in my
Someone has
opinion.
a tiny, tiny
It
little
sets us back a year.
And listen, I
microphallus.
try not to have too many opinions about these because I do believe that
This
I
big.
think we're perfectly fine with 2 leagues.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine with it. But something like that is somebody made just a really petty decision and people allowed that to happen.
Right.
And I didn't think that's just not right.
That brings
I
up-
want to see that. I want to see those guys. I don't get to go out to
Yeah.
events. I want to see those guys at that event.
Yeah.
But there's a man with a really tiny one that said no.
All right.
You
so
can never make a sandwich as good as the sandwich that I make.
What?
All right.
What Pete said.
All right. Well, Brian brought up what Pete said and what Brian said. Brian said microphallus, and my question to you guys to change topics is a very small microphallus, micropenis, the same as a very large clitoris? Are they one and the same? Or are they different?
So anyway,
okay.
Binary.
Rich, you
product
got
are we
anything
talking
on that board? Save us.
It's just a question. I don't know the answer to it.
It's a fair question.
It is a fair. Is it a fair question?
I don't know.
Are they Mike? Are they guarding the bed, or are they spawning actually in the bed? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to figure that out.
It could be post spawn. It could be garden
I need
fry.
to observe this. I need to observe this situation before I know what bait to throw in there.
Right. Right. Well, let
You know, it's funny because I was in San Francisco with my buddy, and we were sitting by this little fire in this hotel, and we're talking fishing. No, listen, we're talking fishing, and he's just one of those really loud people, and he caught this 15-pound bass on a bed, right? But the way he described it in front of everybody, he's like, I got this big girl, fat girl, she's flipping around on the bed, this and that, and everyone's just looking. I'm like, oh my God. They don't know he's talking about fishing. I know he's talking about fishing.
Oh my God,
right?
that's amazing.
Yeah. So there are things that can be said in our community that we understand, but when you get outside of fish, sorry, but that just reminded me what you're all saying.
Yeah. Wow, you're right.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen, because I started seeing other people's reactions, and they have no idea what we're talking about.
You're right. Terms can be flipped in other parts of life.
Sure can.
Here's one that I want to just. This will just be a fun little exercise, and we can start with anyone. Pete, we'll start with you. I want to go around the room, and I want everyone to give a name or a term for a spawning bed.
Oh.
Pete, we'll start with you, and then we'll go that way. Go ahead, Pete. Give a name or a term for a spawning bed. You can even use that as a bed if you want to start with that one.
A nest.
A nest
for a fat girl.
Nest for a fat girl. Jake, you want to chime in?
Jake. Hold on, Jake.
What is
hold
it?
on. Oh, wait. Where's his microphone?
What is it?
Wait, say it again.
Sandy Palace.
That wasn't it.
Sandy Pals.
Sandy Palace.
Sandy Palace. Okay, Sandy
Palace.
Rizzo?
I like that.
I'm going to go with a diamond bottom.
Diamond Bottom.
I like it.
I like it. Brian Carpenter?
Dude. I just had a good one in my mind. Went completely
All right.
blank when he said diamond bottom.
All right, we're skipping you. John Cruz.
Shit.
Name for a bed.
A plate.
A plate.
Yes.
We did this before with John on, and he said the same damn answer.
He did. Well, that's a good answer.
John was in studio with Shannon.
I like it. Fred, name for a bed.
Hotspot.
Hot spot.
Oh, that was mine. It was Hot Pocket.
Oh, Hot Pocket. Well, Hot Pocket's different.
Well, whatever.
Beck?
Doesn't feel the same.
You always call them dishes.
Dishes.
Dish.
Mhm.
Dishes.
I'm going to go with Moon Crater.
Moon crater.
Pete?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Pete?
I already
We have
said
to
nest.
keep going?
Yeah, bring it around again.
All right. We don't have to do this
Wrap it up.
anymore. We don't have to do this anymore. Guys, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I'm not going to thank Ish because he was only on for 5 minutes. But
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't think Ish.
it was awesome to have you guys on to rehash stories, to get your outlook
Yes.
on the sport. to talk about your success. It was great to have you on, guys.
It really
I appreciate
was.
you coming on the show.
Miss you guys.
Wow,
I really do.
We miss you. We do miss you very much.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, man.
There you have it.
Go ahead,
Freddie, thanks for the laughs tonight, buddy.
This was fun.
Good night, guys. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
There you have it,
Thanks,
everybody.
Mike. Look forward to seeing you on the Elites. Thanks, man.
Another one. You see these guys? These guys are tricky, Pete.
Yeah,
these
they are
guys are
tricky.
tricky. You got to watch these guys.
I'll see you guys.
There you have it. John Cruz,
That was fun.
Fred Romanis, Ish Monroe. What an awesome. Thank you guys for surprising me with that. That was
See, now
awesome.
You're not as pissy.
Nah, that was cool.
That
That was cool. That was cool. I'm not as pissy. Even having Ish on for 5 minutes was cool. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was like having the old gang
It was
back
so
together.
ish, wasn't
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He had a tanning.
the
He had a
best.
tanning bed appointment he had to go to. He had to go tan.
Dude,
Make
we
sure
have,
his-
we have to cut the moment when he came back on and didn't know
Oh, that was so
he was
great.
back on.
Yeah, he was like, it was like, why is this green light still on? What the fuck's this? Why am I still here?
He's
What
like
am I
trying.
looking at?
He's like, oh crap, I'm on, and he's trying to push off.
No, but then he looked at himself and he's like, oh, I look good. Damn, look at my eyebrows, look perfect.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that was great.
That was.
That was awesome. Let's take a break. It's late. Oh my God.
We're an hour past our second break.
It's late. Okay. Listen.
Do we have anything left to do?
Yes,
I
we
have
do.
one thing. I have an announcement I got to make. All right. So
We
listen.
got the announcement. We got the Empire covers.
Empire covers.
It's not too late.
Beck, we're going
Right.
to cover the Ike Foundation kayak event.
We're going to talk all about that. This will be a short segment coming up. It'll be a short segment. Listen to me.
Pete has a reading.
Yes, Pete has a rating. Hang in there with us. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, a short third segment, I promise, with a big announcement. Hang in there with us. When we come back, more Ike Live.
4.5-inch drop shot worm. Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J. Give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today. Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy.
Look at this stuff. That's one of the keys, this scent right here, right? It's not liquid. It's almost like a paste. And when you put that on that hard bait, this is on a Rapala X-Wrap, it just sort of coats it. And I love it because it stays on there. You know, I've used scents in the past where you put that scent on, 2 or 3 casts later, it's gone. You don't have it on there. This lasts 20, 30, 40 casts. Dude, the thing I love about this stuff, watch, I want you to watch this as Brian puts this on. Look at the material, right? You've got, we're using shad today, so it's got natural bits of shad in there. It's got enzymes, aminos.
It's that sticky icky.
It's that sticky.
You know, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, no jig, nothing. Just Liquid Mayhem on a bare hook. Liquid Mayhem.
The bottle of Liquid Mayhem.
You know?
You take pride in your boat, so it deserves the best protection possible. Our durable woven fabric prevents ripping and provides UV protection, and our tape seams provide protection against the elements. The heavy-duty shock cord hem and strap and buckle system provide a tight and secure fit. Our top-of-the-line boat covers come with a ventilation system to keep your boat free from mold buildup. Empire Covers, protecting what you love.
This is your tackle. Not that kind of tackle. You use it to catch this, or this, or this. You also use this and that and these. This is your environment. So is this. You love it, live for it, but it will turn this into that. This is the Flambeau Z-Rust Max Tough Tainer series. These are fully infused with exclusive Z-Rust VCI anti-corrosion technology. This is a U.S. naval battleship. The same Z-Rust technology used here has been used on those to protect advanced weapon systems from corrosion in conditions like these. For the fish, it's invisible, odorless, tasteless. And for you, it's FDA-safe anti-rust protection for a minimum of 5 years. This is the next level of tackle management, not that kind of management. This is the Flambeau legacy of tackle systems. What's your tackle worth?
It's more than who you are. It's who you're with. And it's more than what you do. It's where you do it. Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey.
Becky has an announcement, everybody.
Oh, man.
Sit down, Beck. You're good.
Becky, you have an announcement. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Ike Live. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. Man, what a show. Pete, this has been a great show.
Sandwiches have been great.
Yeah, I said it when the camera went off, but
best sandwiches we've ever had on
best
the show.
sandwiches. But shout out to Rebecca and Brian the Carpenter for Riz. I don't know if you had a part of this either, but thank you guys for setting that up. It was
Riz
super.
is like, yeah. It
Riz
was
is
all
like,
me.
yeah, it's all him.
Becky was responsible for Ish.
It was really it was really nice to have those guys on. That was a fun segment, and of course it ran long because it was a cool moment.
That's what we do.
Wait, I
It was
really
very fun.
hope that no one's still watching.
Yeah, I hope they are watching because
Lots.
there's some big stuff still happening here.
Major announcements.
There is. First things first. I do want to say, Beck, I want to catch up real quick, and we had an amazing Ike Foundation kayak event, and
Yes.
if I recall, click, that's number 5.
Yes.
Our 5th annual.
It was our
and
5th
they are
annual.
getting bigger and better every year.
Yeah.
90 kayaks.
What?
Showed up to Lake Nakamixon. Dude, that's stellar, dude.
Wait, that's more than that event you won on the whatchamacallit.
Way more than the Bassmaster event.
That comment came from Ryan Lambert.
It did come from Ryan Lambert. I need to talk to Ryan Lambert, by the way.
All right.
Great event and great support for youth fishing. We raised a lot of money, which was great. And we had a great turnout, and we had a champion, of course. You want to talk a little bit about that?
We did. There was one guy that blew it away, and his name is, I believe, Jacob Stem. Am I saying that right?
Jakob.
But he had over 80 inches.
Yeah.
I think the next guy had 50-some
Had
inches.
50. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
blew it away. But cool young guy. I mean, kind of came full circle because what was the story that he told you?
So he fished with us at the Ike Foundation Celebrity Pro-Am when he was still in college as a rider.
Mm-hmm.
And, now it's sort of come full circle, and he's
Is he the one who told us that he fished with Cliff Crochet?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mama say, yeah. So it was cool in that he supported the foundation the whole way, even from when he was younger to now that he's on his kayak. So really cool. Really cool to see him win.
It was cool. Yeah.
Also, what else we got? Brian the Carpenter. We had.
That was it. That's all Becky had.
Is that all you have? You want to say anything
The
else?
whole segment. I made you a banner.
Yeah, a little banner.
Oh, I'll talk more.
Becky Live,
I
yeah.
should. The ladies would be mad if I don't tell you everything that's going on. So
quickly.
There's you want to
So the ticket window is now open for the scholarship dinner in January.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We're back,
Don't you
baby.
be afraid about COVID. Don't you be afraid about COVID.
Go get your shots.
I do want to preempt everyone's conversations. The ticket price, unfortunately, has had to go up a little bit because, thanks to COVID, prices
who
on
cares?
Totally
everything
worth
have
it.
gone up.
Yeah.
So,
Ticket schmicket.
but we kind of have a really cool surprise. If it all works out, it is going to be way worth the ticket increase.
Frank
and
Frank
then
Sinatra
some,
impersonator?
basically.
An
But-
announcement
but
of an
better.
announcement.
I love New York.
I'm not
Sinatra?
I'm not. It's actually like an interactive activity.
Ooh.
We have to have a special license for it.
Oh.
And since the government
Phone
isn't
party.
actually sitting in their offices, it's really hard to get permits. So the moment that comes through, I promise I'll tell you, should be a blast. But it's
Breast
going to be
painting,
really.
nipple piercing. What are you talking about?
No,
Yeah.
it's a sandwich making challenge.
Sandwich. Sandwich.
So it's going to be a ton of fun. trying to think if there's anything else major going on.
Yeah, Flyers game, October.
Yes.
Thank you. I knew
This
there
is
was
a big
something
one.
else.
This is a big one.
Oh, there's 2 things. Yes, thank you, Rich.
Yeah.
So we have a Flyers game on the 18th.
Totally
Check
redeemed
out the Ike Foundation.
Monday, October 18th.
Yes.
Come to a Flyers game with us. Come hang
Yes.
out with us.
So check out our social or the website to see the special link. You
Writing
can
that
get
down.
tickets. I think they're only like $45.
Yep.
We're all going to go together. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be a lot
Playing
of
the
fun.
Kraken too.
Yeah.
Good team.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Playing
Yeah.
Seattle Kraken.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's an NHL hockey team. The
Get
Seattle
the
Kraken.
frig out of here.
Yeah. And if all goes
Wow,
well.
you're so out of loop. You don't even know the teams anymore? What's wrong with you?
No, it's a
Yeah.
brand new team, though. Rich is right. But listen,
Look,
this
Brian
is the cool
thinks.
part.
Look, Brian thinks Lindros is still playing.
I'm happy to be out of the loop. This
they're
shit's
formerly
crazy.
a roller
so I don't
hockey
have no
team,
parts
right?
of it. But go ahead.
But if we're
Deptford
really,
88ers.
if we're really lucky, Mike's gonna ride on the Zamboni.
Oh!
Whoa.
Riding the Zamboni. I'm gonna yell. Do you drive a Zamboni at the Coliseum?
Wait. Seriously?
Yes.
Zamboni. A
That's
Zamboni.
so awesome,
This is This
isn't it?
is a Zamboni.
Is it anybody's birthday that night by any chance?
I mean, it's gonna be. Carol's. Isn't that that's the closest to Carol's?
We're celebrating Carol's birthday.
Zamboni.
Oh,
And
boy.
then,
I got a hangover already.
We have a really cool promotion going on. Jocelyn actually got this. She met one of the Grunk brothers
Grunk.
at iCast. Has an ice shaker bottle. They're making custom Ike Foundation ones. So if you go on the onto our social feed, you can see them. I actually got some the other day. They're really nice bottles. And they have the Ike Foundation on them. They're really cool. So if you need new like ice bottle or like a sports shaker bottle and stuff, we've got some cool Ike Foundation ones. So support us and get some stuff you need.
October 18th.
October 18th. We are all going. But you have to get your tickets like through that link to get that special price,
Yeah.
and then we're all going to try to sit together. We're going to get
What do you
seats
mean?
together.
Try to sit together. You buy seats.
Yeah, but we're trying to do it all together so we can all sit in the same
section,
same
right?
section. Yeah.
We do the wave.
Get up on the glass, rock the glass.
Yeah.
We'll be in the nosebleeds.
Do the wave.
Who cares? We're all going to be together. We're celebrating Carol's birthday.
Yep.
Woo. On the Zamboni.
At a hookah bar.
At a hookah bar. Also, we have an Empire Covers contest. Let's talk about Empire Covers tonight. It was a great promotion. It was get on their social page. It was like, share, and
Tag 2 friends on Instagram.
Tag 2 friends and like their page.
Make sandwiches.
I think we had a lot of participants tonight. Riz, what do we got with the Empire Covers contest?
Yeah, so a lot of people chimed in during the show, letting us know that they participated. Guys, if you haven't checked out Empire Covers, right now is a great time to do it.
Good
the
time.
seasons are changing, the leaves are falling. Absolutely, got to protect your investment, and there's no better way than Empire Covers. Don't break the bank. Protect your investment. Our winner for the Empire Covers contest, he's going to get himself a $300 value Empire cover, is Mr. Chris Martinez. Congratulations,
Chris Martinez! With the cover.
Empire Covers contest.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Congrats.
That's right.
Congrats. That's a big
Nice
one.
win.
What kind of boats you got?
Not sure.
John Boat or
He's got-
Biggie Smalls?
He's got a Kawasaki jet ski.
Triton.
All right.
He's got a Triton.
As a Triton. Cool. I also had.
That's not the guy that bought mine.
Oh, that's mine. Yeah. Also had note here, Brian the Carpenter. TH Marine.
Oh yeah.
Will be having TH Marine be having they bongo hats. What the hell kind of language is that?
Just read the text.
TH Marine be having these bongo hats
There's
on
no end.
sale on the site.
No, honest to God, can I please read this? TH Marine be having they BOGO hats on sale on the site.
What the hell does that mean?
What do you mean? What's that mean?
Buy one, get one.
Oh.
Yeah, bongo.
The bongo hat.
Oh, I thought TH had a new drum kit.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, they got.
That's for the
they
front
got
of the Biggie Smalls
They
guy.
got the grass goat. They got G Juice. Now they got a bongo hat up in his mouth.
Okay, so reading is not his strength, but typing's not yours.
What are you talking about? There was no mistakes there whatsoever.
They be having?
Be having they.
Oh please. I know what music you listen to. Don't even come at me sideways.
TH Marine be having they.
TH Marine be having that.
Listen, it's late in the show. Don't get silly about it. What is a BOGO hat?
Buy one, get one.
Buy one, get one free on hats.
Bogo hat.
Bogo.
I thought we already covered
I
that.
thought we did too. Bogo.
Bogo.
We knew something.
Jersey rig. Bogo.
On with the Bogo. Also have a note about half a spot.
Well, hold on. No,
Yes.
this one's for Pete.
Okay. Pete?
What? I got to read something?
Half a spot.
Uh-oh.
Pete's reading half a spot?
Did you type this properly? No. Which one?
They be having.
They be having. Half a spot be having.
Half a Spot is adding a new short format tournament to the app. As you know, most events are a month or 3 months long, but nah. This new John be just a weekend long.
Be just.
Hi, call it Bass and Bash. Come get some. I'm Pete Gluzek, and I approve this message, bitches.
There you have it. There you have it.
That was amazing.
I'll decipher that. Go to halfaspot.com to decipher that message.
For a weekend-long tournament.
Yeah.
Sign up for that, John.
Yeah, sign up for that weekend, John.
I'm actually really
Kinda cool.
scared.
That
I'm
weekend,
really
John.
scared that this is how we're doing our sponsor conversation.
Everybody's having a good time. I see no problems here.
Put on your bongo hat and sign up for that, John.
All right. Also, Riz.
Said John.
John. Pete said John. That made me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? We also had.
I felt comfortable.
You did? That's good.
I was dialed.
Well, what was the thing Eric always made Pete say when Eric was here?
Lit.
It was some lit fire. Pete was comfortable and lit fire on that John.
Thank you for throwing me under the bus.
Yeah, that was good. Also, we had tonight an amazing. We do this every show, so it is amazing though. We had the like and share contest over on Facebook for the Ike Live gift bag. World famous Pete called it 22.6 pounds. And Riz, we're going to draw a winner for the Facebook like and share tonight.
That's right.
Okay.
Going to send that through the randomizer.
All right, send through the randomizer. Wow, did you see that sliding motion? Was unreal. Wow.
The randomizer has produced an answer. And tonight's Facebook like and share winner of the Ike Live show is Corey Cornell. Congratulations, Corey.
Corey Cornell, who also went to Cornell University. Smart guy.
Corey Cornell, we really hope you get your prize.
We do hope you get it.
Don't blame me anymore.
No promises.
Yeah, no promises.
Do we have Corey Cornell's information?
Well, not yet. I didn't want to give up the surprise, so I'm going to ask for it now.
Jake, I hope you're taking notes.
Yeah. Information's good. What a great show. I'm going to end with the announcement, but first of all, I want to say.
Will you please admit that you were really crabby about
I was
not
crabby.
knowing?
Why not? Yeah, I was. a little crabby.
Let's
I
talk
didn't
about
know.
that, Beck. Let's go deep.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know who was on. I mean,
Let's do a
I'd like to
seminar
have
on that.
Even a little clue.
Yeah, here's the thing
Who
though.
was on.
They were supposed to come to you with the content.
Yeah.
You dominated them.
I did.
I was messaging John. Yo, come on, flip it back, take it back, John. He's like, I'm gonna try. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna try.
Reverse.
Then he threw it back on me.
I throw it on everybody.
Well, that's what happens. You panic and you throw it back. You throw it at Pete.
Throw it at everybody.
It worked.
I find it humorous that they call me the intimidating one.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of good stories too. I could have told. I mean, I can remember. I remember one. We were at the Mississippi River with John Cruz and Ish, and something happened. Something happened the first day, and I was so fucking pissed off when I came back. And there was this house, and a lot of the houses we stay at, they're kind of like, I would call them borderline hoarderish. So there's stuff laying around. And the room I was staying at, I was so pissed off. There was a doll. There was a full-on baby doll laying on the floor. And I was so pissed off. I was like, fuck, whatever happened. I can't even remember what happened. But I kicked the baby doll, and it went straight through the fucking window.
What's wrong with you,
Like
man?
some out of a horror movie.
I don't know, but I kicked the baby doll, it went straight through the window. That was a good story.
Broken
I'm
glass?
surprised. Yeah, broken glass.
Did the head stay on it?
I don't remember. I think the doll was intact, but the window was cracked. So it eventually had to I had to pay for that and all that. But
Wasn't Freddie at that Oneida house where like the lawn got messed up because it rained and you guys all had to park on the lawn?
Two
It was the
burnouts.
little old German lady who was
yeah.
like so mad.
Yeah. That was interesting. But it's also that's the same house where we were there for an open with Brian Brooks, and then who's Brian's buddy that smokes all the weed from Mount Ephraim? He was there. This was
Super awesome, amazing, ridiculous Jim.
Who?
No?
Was it Jim? No. Can't remember the guy's name, but they had a party at the house after an open. This is even before we met. But somebody got so drunk they threw up behind the couch and didn't tell the little German lady. So that it came back to whoever rented the house.
Frau
Like,
Flicker.
hey, there was throw up behind the couch. Who threw up behind the couch? There's too many stories to
I wonder how many housing deposits you have been responsible for.
Yeah, I know.
Who threw up in the limo, in the cup holder in the limo?
That was Pete. That was Pete's bachelor party, wasn't it?
Me?
Yeah.
I wasn't there. Don't look at me.
Yeah, at your bachelor party.
Shelley says I have never thrown up.
At your bachelor party.
She probably wasn't there.
We actually had a limo bus. I don't know if
I
you
remember. Yeah.
And someone threw up in the speaker. Which was a really there were like
a unique place.
Speaker boxes.
Yeah.
And the one speaker where the subwoofer
You
was
sure
at.
it wasn't McGraw?
Maybe it was John. I don't remember. Oh, Junior was there. Maybe it was Junior.
I
I don't remember. He was
probably
young.
Junior.
Junior was probably the youngest. So I'm going to blame it on Junior.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Even if it wasn't him.
No.
I don't know. There's a lot of
We need to. Well, the show's gone long, but I want to hear stories. I want to hear stories about Cruz and Ish, and Freddie and me.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear I want to hear your stories.
Oh, there's some good ones. Well, Freddie was wild.
There's gotta be
back when
some.
he was young and single.
Yeah.
Freddie was
Oh.
wild.
Freddie
Freddie's
dances
wild.
when there's not even music on.
Oh yeah.
I think Cruz
At the
told me
classic
that
2 years ago, there's no music and Freddie's still dancing, just rocking a move.
every time Freddie gets drunk, he falls in water.
That could be. Could be.
He's always happy.
Yes.
Freddie is always happy, man.
And
I love that about him.
How is it that Happy Fred, in his career, finds 2 dead bodies floating in tournaments?
Right?
I
Two,
didn't know that.
not one, but 2.
What?
2
Got a
times.
body count. Wow,
Where?
okay.
Finds. One was in the Detroit River. I don't
Makes
know where the
sense.
other
I
one
don't remember
was.
where the other one was.
No. One was the Detroit River, but that's interesting.
I remember that I had to clean up all the trash at our Thousand Islands house 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah. When it piled up? Oh, yeah.
The trash, it was funny because John said that, Ish cooks, I clean, Mike eats. and that was very similar to our house because we had a trash can like the one right over there and it got filled up. Nobody took the trash out.
No.
So
They put it on top.
Started
Hey, Pete,
and then
nothing has
stack.
changed this many years later.
The 30% of the kitchen was trash. Was just like, paper plates, cups. It just started to pile up, and we were like the last person that has to leave. I forget who it was, but I drew the straw. It took me a day.
I remember that.
To clean the trash up out of the corner.
I remember drawing straws for that. Jeff Hippert was there.
Jeff Hippert was there.
Joe Sancho was there. This is an old one. I remember that. Sully was there.
I mean, half the kitchen was trash.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Sully could have drawn the shortest straw, and he just would have still left.
Yeah,
Right?
he'd be like, dude, you clean it up, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
nah.
Yeah, nah, dude.
Dude, you clean it. All right, what time is it? All right, so I'm gonna let's make this announcement real quick, and then we'll do a little
Unboxing.
Nah, we doing an unboxing?
Oh, I don't know.
No, you want to?
Probably.
Yo, if it's got similar stuff that my box, let's do it real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do an
The
unboxing.
red one?
Let's start with
Oh,
that.
I didn't get the red one.
Oh,
Which one did you get?
What's the red one?
well, this is the Elite box. This is the Elite box. I really like this box a lot.
Goodness.
And this one, let me verify that. Look at that, Jake. See that? The seal is still there. So this is actually a new box. And here's the sound right here. Let me see if I can get it to you. Ready? You hear that?
I heard it.
Man, that's the best sound in the world right there. All right, you know how this goes. Going to pick one bait. I'm going to grab this, and I want to pass it over, and you pick something that you like and pass it over to Pete, and we'll go all around. Give it to Jake and Rizzo and Brian the Carpenter. Wow.
Thank you. Hurry up.
Pete, leave me something good in there for this weekend, all right?
Oh, you want? Okay, I'll leave you that.
What do I need to be thrown?
Wow.
Whiskey.
Oh, I can't even believe this bait's actually in there. This is crazy.
Dude, I'm not leaving it for you.
Okie light?
I literally got the coolest looking bait.
Is it? Yeah, it was
Close.
Yeah, it was in my box.
Very cool, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
Very cool.
That's what I was saying. We should open this.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start talking.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start in this box. Pete, I grabbed something that's really cool. This is a zero gravity jig.
Okay.
This is actually made by a buddy of mine, Kelly, barefoot, out of North Carolina. And I see it's licensed to Ketchco, but this is a jig head that's epoxy, hollow on the inside. This is a floating jig. Think about that concept, Pete, right?
Yeah.
A jig, like when you're swimming it, when you're keeping it above grass, this is a jig that barely falls. They call it a slow fall. I've fished these before. It almost floats. Zero gravity jig, the profile of a full-size jig, but just
ultra slow.
Ultra slow.
And the skirt looks amazing.
Full-size skirt, epoxy head, hollow, so you could put a trailer on here and it's even higher floating. Dude, this has got merit to it. This has always had a place, I believe, and I have some of these. But really, really cool. Zero gravity jig, a floating full-size jig. Beck, what do you got?
So I have a Yozuri knuckle bait, and I grabbed it because I've never seen anything like it. So
I know that bait.
It's a wire bait, but it has this,
The knuckleball.
this ball. Almost looks like a green marble
Yeah.
hanging right at the top. It's like, but it's clear, so I guess it catches light. It has some, it does have a little prismatic action to it
That's
on the
crazy.
sides. And I guess it makes like a knocking sound, too, when it goes through. Yeah, it's kind of cool looking.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Knuckle bait. Pete, what do you got?
Bone.
Kabasi. Put a couple treble hooks on it.
Monthly Kabasi.
Bone. I'm going to give this one to Riz.
What is that, a trap?
This is a Duo Realis.
What?
I think it's a Duo. It says Duo.
Oh, it's a Duo.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It says Duo
Spin bait?
International.
Yeah, it's
Come
Duo.
on, knock it off.
It's Duo.
No, look
I'm
at
just
the bottom.
saying. I
Look
don't
at
know.
the bottom.
But it's lipless. It's bone
Ooh.
colored.
Ooh.
The shad are migrating. They are moving.
I guess seniority don't count for shit, huh? Go ahead, Rich. You get it.
Hey, you got to ask for the order. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
I like this color. I like this bait. I like the time of year. It's the deal.
Yeah, whatever. That's awesome bait. Shit.
All right.
I was supposed to have it.
So I got Pete, and it's I think it'll be a good one too. Here, it's a Excite Baits XB1. It's a square bill, but what's unique about it is that it has a weight transfer system, and I'm going to hold it up to the mic here, and I'm going to let you hear the knock this bait has in it.
Ooh. Wow!
I mean, it's a single big one knocker in there.
Baby rattle.
That I'm just telling you right now, you could throw this thing a country mile, and it's knocking the whole way. We're dealing with dirty water here. That's what I'm going with.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Jake, what do you got?
You got to speak into the microphone, Jake.
COVID. Yo, chode. Eagles.
Eagles.
So I'm going deep. I got a Vexen Deep Thud 12 foot.
Ooh.
Sexy shad.
Ooh. I like that one. Look at the bill on that.
Vexen's
thing.
isn't that a Florida company?
Something like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Keep
So
cranking.
while Rich is in cranking the shallows, I'm going to be on the back of his boat fishing 12 feet of water.
Yeah.
Casting the other way.
Attaboy. That's where all them shad are.
You know what they say about big fish, Pete? Deeper or thicker?
Deeper, thicker.
That was about the fish.
Deeper or thicker? Yeah.
Sandwiches.
Yeah. And sandwiches. Brian the Carpenter, last but not least, what do you got?
I got everything everybody else didn't want.
Eagles.
I got all.
right, keep going.
I
So
got
whiny.
Yo, Chode.
Don't be ish.
What do you got, Chode?
I got.
You can't
open
stay in our
stuff up.
house.
I got all
It's
the
all
soft
positivity.
plastics. Got all the soft plastics. All green pumpkin because that's color the bestest color. Little tube. One of these-
Tubule.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. You flip this thing, you're gonna catch them.
Big bite crawl?
This is it's a big bite crawl. It's
It's
just
a good looking crawl.
It's just the traditional, just straight body
Yeah.
with two big old flappers right there.
It's a good looking crawl.
That's good stuff.
It's so funny. This unboxing is just like at my house. Jake throws the soft plastics and the hard tackle like right out of the way, right to the crankbaits, top waters, all the high dollar stuff.
Yeah.
That's
That
high
stuff's
priority.
more sexy though, Like when
Hey,
you look
well,
at it, it's
yeah.
like more like
This thing right here. Pete could stick this thing for hours.
Is that a stanky?
It's
Type of stanky?
Hoax fish, yeah, dude. It's got a little tail.
Looks like a big leech.
Here, you throw that in my shoulder shot.
Big bass love leech.
I need surgery.
Oh.
And got some hooks.
I don't know about that, but I like the ribs on it though.
The ribs is right.
That is weird.
I like the ribs on it.
I do too.
Feels hefty.
Yeah, it looks big profile.
Ooh, this is hollow.
But what's with the?
This is hollow.
What the tail? All right,
holler.
What else we have?
All right,
that's about it.
there you go. All right, so let's wrap the show up.
Make your.
Yeah, before I make the
Fugazi
announcement, real quick, before I make the announcement, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It's been an amazing show. I want to thank our guests, of course. First segment, we've got to thank Ross for coming on, dude.
Ross was awesome, dude.
He was great.
awesome. Great.
Ross was great. Want to thank
Inspirational.
MTV. Yes, very inspirational. Want to thank Ish Monroe and Freddie Boom Boom and John Cruz
Yeah.
for coming on the second segment.
Freddie and John were great.
Yeah. Freddie and John. And no Ish,
We
Brian?
love you, Ish.
The best
We love
part
you,
was
man.
when I got to delete his name off the freaking
Oh,
banner
okay.
there. Thanks, Ish. Thanks for
All right.
5 minutes.
Want to thank them. Want to thank everybody in the studio tonight. It felt good. It felt like a nice room tonight. I like the energy. Of course, Pete Glusick, Jake, Rizzo, Brian DeCarpenter, Becky. Thank you guys. It was fun tonight, and it was a good show. Let's end it with this announcement because this is a big thing, and I know a lot of you have been waiting the entire show for this. And like I said, Brian,
They fell for that shit
Oh,
like
well,
5 years ago.
all right. Well, if they're listening in the recap or listening months later, whatever it is, we're not gonna psych them out with a beep or whatever like that. We're actually gonna talk about it.
Oh.
There's a lot on the plate, Pete, right now for the business and for me personally. I know I heard you talking about it.
Yeah.
And even
It's
John.
tied to that. This announcement.
Well, it is tied to that. And John even got in a little
Dig?
dig trying to make me talk.
wants you to go where he wants
Yeah.
you to go.
Yeah.
We all have our
Yeah.
opinions
So-
on where we'd like to see you go.
So, without further ado, I want to tell you that I am not here tonight to announce any allegiance to a tournament circuit, but I'm here, Becky and I are here to tell you that my world has been very successful. People love it. It's been a great program for CBS Sports, and we're here to tell you tonight that in 2022, we will have a season 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Major
Season 2
announcement.
of My World coming. This is a big announcement.
That's dope.
Yes,
It
dude.
is a big
Yeah.
announcement.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Very, very cool.
That's awesome, man.
We worked really hard on the project, so
Yeah.
it feels good to know that people like it,
We
and
birthed
sponsors like it, and we birthed it, right? So without giving any names, I can tell you that we have a pro baseball player. We have a pro soccer player already on the roster, a pro ice hockey player.
Okay.
Already on the roster for season 2. So very
Okay.
excited. Very excited.
It's funny the people that come out of the woodwork when you
Oh,
actually
yeah.
have a successful show on
Yeah.
there, and then they're like, "Oh
Yeah, getting guests
Hey, can I
became
come
a
on?
little easier.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Getting guests became a little easier, which was nice.
Yeah,
But
me
I'm
too.
I'm so thankful people like the show. Thank you for appreciating the show. Can't wait to shoot season 2. So there's your announcement.
How does that affect your tournament plans?
But see, I'm trying to bring it back here, Brian. You see that?
Yeah.
You see that? Well, I don't know yet. We'll have to analyze that. Beck, you want to talk about that? No.
I mean, you've got options, right?
There's
Let's talk about your
There's-
options.
There's options.
What are your options?
You know?
throw a zero gravity jig over shallow milfoil.
Well, you qualified for a couple tours.
Yeah.
Would you qualify? You said you qualified for a kayak event too.
I qualified for the
Everything.
elites, the MLF Big Five, and
FLW.
my win at on the Chesapeake qualified me for the Kayak Classic in conjunction with the Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah, so
and I will be fishing at 100%.
And if anyone from Bass is watching, I would really like to come to the dinner because of that.
Yeah, we
so
want to go to the dinner.
I don't
me
wanna,
too.
I don't want
Yeah,
to be
and Brian.
excluded.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
want to get dressed up and I want to come to the dinner.
I'm starving.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that class with that Kayak Classic, Pete. Like I'm approaching that to go to win. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? It's not like, hey, I'm happy to be here. Like we're gonna have an official practice period. I'm gonna go and like literally try to. How cool would it be to win a Kayak Classic? You know what I mean? On that stage, in that venue.
So will there be an off
nice
limits
addition.
for that? Like you can only practice during the
Yes.
practice days. So like dudes won't be able to go for 2 months. And
That's
practice.
right.
Okay.
There is going to
Good.
be an off
Good.
limits, and they haven't officially even announced where it's going to be.
Mhm.
So because it's in conjunction with the Classic at Hartwell,
Mhm.
you can only guess, right? Like if you go one lake up, you're at Kiwi.
Mhm.
If you go one lake down, I think you're at Russell, right?
Mm.
So you can kind of guess. My guess is Kiwi. I'm going to guess it's on Lake Kiwi, but you know,
Crystal clear.
Yep. A lot of spots, crystal
Yeah.
clear, deep water. You know, it's going to be an interesting tournament, but looking forward to fishing it, you know?
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
And
forward
to
fishing
touch
it.
on everyone's question
Yeah.
of the hour and what you're going to do, just so everyone knows, there's a lot of thought going into it. It's been a nice last 2 years taking
been awesome.
on different projects, and our goal
It's
has
been nice.
always been to grow the sport of fishing, and people know that through the foundation and everything, but this show was also another avenue to try to get more people into the sport of fishing. So it's not that you're against, tournament fishing. It's just, it's been a lot of years, and that's not easy on the family, the amount of
Right.
time that someone is gone and the dedication that takes. So
tough. However-
we don't take this question we don't take this option lightly. So
Yeah.
I know people want answers right now, and in their minds, like, it makes a ton of sense that you just need to do this, but just,
There's a lot of factors.
There's a lot of factors that
Yeah.
go into it, and we've got a lot of stuff going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
So-
there was a really cool article on Bassmaster.com a few days ago. I don't know if you saw it by Mike Such.
Such,
Yeah.
I read the
I
article.
thought he did a I thought he did a good job because
I could feel your enthusiasm.
Yeah, yeah. He questioned. You know, he had Becky on the phone for a while talking to her. He had me on the phone, and we tried to be honest with him and give him the facts and what would determine the decision when we make it. So.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good article. I thought he did a good job at.
I thought it was really gracious of you to recognize the staff at Bass and how you missed that
I do.
part of it.
I do.
And and recognize the fans.
Oh yeah, the
And-
fans are.
and what they would like to see
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
I thought that was really
The fans
cool.
are a big part of it. And Brian, I do love to stir up a little controversy and a little, it's fun because it's a PR, it's a PR, machine, and I like to activate that. But like I posted the other day, and I really wanted to gauge my fan base, and I said, Bassmaster Elites, MLF Big Five, or other.
Or kayak.
Yeah, or other. I just said
Yeah.
or other. And it
What'd
was
they say?
interesting to see the comments come through. I would say 80%, 75% Bassmaster Elite, and the other
Wow.
25% was split between MLF or other. I would
Gotcha.
say it was that heavy
Mhm.
on Bass.
Yep.
So it is really I appreciate their opinion and I value it, so it's nice when I make those posts, and I'll make a few more. As we get to
Of course
the
you
decision,
will.
Yep.
But
So-
it's not taken lightly, and
No.
as many people saw this evening, the toll that it takes on Michael tournaments.
Oh, right. Yes.
You think?
Is it a
does.
toll though? Is it a toll?
Okay, so the toll it takes on Becky.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
Eat more
yeah.
Becky sandwiches.
I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing easy about it for anybody involved. with the way that you're wired.
With the way that Mike's wired.
Yeah, with the way that Mike's
Yeah.
wired. Yeah.
Other people, they on the next one.
Yeah, like a lot of people
Doesn't
like
work
don't
for
have a
Mike.
great tournament, can just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it was funny because like Charlie, Charlie's a good friend and he advises us on a lot of stuff. I remember him saying, this is back before even like the MLF thing split happened. This was early on, and he was saying, well, just fish the elites and just show up for the tournament, and
Nope.
all your sponsors, and it's true, right? Like, you don't even practice, just show up for the
There's guys that do
registration.
that.
Yeah, fish the tournament, right? Like, and and your business has all that same, value to it,
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
I want to like
Okay.
I fish a Thursday nighter, a beer league with these guys, and I
Yeah.
want to beat their brains in every time.
Yeah.
And you know what I
Pre-fishes
mean?
for 'em and everything.
Oh, some of them we had.
Yeah.
The smartest thing me and Vegas did is we didn't pre-fish for that last one that we won. We just went fishing, which was nice, and it worked out better.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, I'm competitive. I can't do that. I can't just show up.
Nah.
I can't just show up like that. I mean, I want to go win. I want to go try to win. At least put
Right.
myself in contention.
Sure.
And you got guys that are spending a month at a place plus the 3 official days of practice. It's already hard enough to compete with that.
Yeah.
I at least need the 3 days of practice.
Yep. So.
So with that said,
John Cruz, make room in your next house rental.
But there should be the ability. The thing that we don't have in this sport, though, really is that ability to, say, retire from the tournament side and have other outlets to have all that exposure that's equal to what you had before, and have a lot of the sponsors understand that value and follow
that's a
with
problem.
you.
That's a problem. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
some-
you're a leader. You guys both are a leader in that field, though. I mean,
it's kind of exhausting having to be the leader. Somebody else want
Well-
to retire too?
well, what?
Come on,
let me,
Kevin.
all right,
Clement
all right.
retire. Clement won't retire.
Let me
Look at him
ask.
hanging on
Let me
now.
ask you this.
God
I got to
love him.
know this. I got to know this answer. It's all done, right? You're done. You've won everything, and you're done. What does that look like for you? What is like? Okay, I'm just gonna do nothing, or I'm just gonna. Does that ever happen for you?
I don't think. No, I think what it looks like is a lot what happened this year. It's like for me, I feel like I put my energy other places. So it's other pieces of the business, or it's other tournaments, or other challenges. Like the kayak thing was honestly, I felt so good about the kayak thing because it was real. Like I wanted to go win one of those, and I worked really hard at it. It was not like never like took my big boat out and you know what I mean. It was like all for the right reason. So if it's not tournament fishing at Bass or MLF, right? I think it's a TV project, or it's another business, or it's predator tournaments, carp tournaments. I mean,
Old Timers League,
crappie events, redfish tournaments. I'm intrigued.
We're going to travel the world and
Yeah.
street fish.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I am
Sewer fish.
I am super intrigued by these big money saltwater events. Super intrigued.
Like they've been going on forever.
The Marlin Opens.
Oh yeah.
The Duke of Fluke. Like
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
saltwater events that have history
All right, then
and
he's
prestige.
coming back to the elites if he thinks he's getting
I said Duke of Fluke, and you changed your tone right there.
The entry fees for those are like $1 million.
I know, they're insane.
Well, not Duke of
Crazy.
Fluke, but for the Marlin tournaments, big entry fees. But
Dude,
listen,
let's go to Florida. Come on.
I think we have
Saltwater.
enough people watching and listening that
Here's what I think. Does anyone out there know anyone casting for Dancing with the Stars?
Diane Katz,
Dina.
Katz.
For you or Mike?
No, for Mike. Charles actually called her the other day. I was like, I tracked down who the person is, and he was like, I'll just call.
Mike, the Wawa Hoagie lady says just start shark fishing.
I would like to do that. I would like to do that.
She could probably put you on some
I'm
sharks,
sure
too.
she could. I'm sure she could. I hope she takes me one day. I would like that. But if we happen to be fishing together and she catches a stingray, I don't want any parts of that stingray. You know what I mean?
Just let Brian handle that.
Yeah, I'll let Brian handle the stingray. Yeah. This is a good moment. What a great show tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Jake, did we get any nicknames for Jake, by the way, tonight? Jake from State Farm? Nothing?
Jake from Bass Farm.
Jake from Bass Farm.
The one that came through.
That's a good one. I like that. Jake from Bass Farm. That's a good.
No, I'm okay.
That's a good name. Thank you, Jake, for sitting in on this one.
Pete's always.
Thank you.
They're not always this long. And
Um,
more. They're not always this long.
They're always.
They're
this
not
long.
always this long. I
They're
appreciate
usually longer.
sitting in. What a good moment here, Brian. I'm glad you did this, to do a little toast here at the end.
Yeah. I'm glad I did this too.
To our guests, to our fans, to everybody here
you know
tonight.
what? To everybody, Mike, toast to
Cheers,
to
Pete.
your season for going out and doing what you did. Because
Thank you.
It makes it a fun place to work. I mean, Brian and I talk about it all the time.
Hey.
People come up to us, they're like, "What's Mike doing? What's Mike doing?" And we don't know. You know what I mean? we don't know. Every time you get the question, it's like, your guess is as good as mine, and they think we're lying, but it makes it fun. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
Here's to you, to everybody, but Ish. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh, I love that Tig Cup. I love that Tig Cup. Great show, Brian Carpenter. Good job tonight. Thank you.
Good
Thank you
idea,
very much.
Brian. Good idea.
Good idea. Pete,
Brian
Pete,
was.
thank you.
Brian was as stressed out as you were.
Really?
Prior to the show.
Wow.
Honestly.
I was just playing out scenarios, trying to make sure.
I know
he
he spins out.
Came off great though.
Oh, he
I thought it was
spins
great.
out like crazy. He doesn't realize he does it, but he really
I
does.
just looking for backup plans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get
and you sweat, and you're like.
he looks at me. He's like, "Why are you so calm?"
Well, I will tell you this, and I'll look at Becky and Brian when I say this real quick, because I think you guys have or will be responsible for making this happen. Rick Clunn is still on my radar.
I know, but I want Rick here.
I know Rick
I-
would be great here, but the odds of us getting him here are slim and none.
I heard he made a wonderful gesture.
Oh,
on
he did.
Social
That
media.
was so cool.
Did you see that?
For sure.
I didn't see the original post, and Becky screenshot it and sent it to me. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That feels so good. That
Hell
feels so
yeah.
good.
He's a wonderful person.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He
He's a
needs
really
to
good
be
dude.
in studio.
Yeah. Be great to get him here
Becky's
somehow.
the only one that can make it happen.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't want to just have Rick Clunn over the phone or whatever.
No,
Like,
he
I'd
needs to be here.
rather-
Well, have him come into town. We can show him Philadelphia, the
I'll
Schuylkill.
drive Melissa in.
Show him the
condoms floating by. in the
Show him the
Delaware. I don't know.
timber square.
The Timber Square.
I think we would
Gloucester
probably-
Hole.
I think we might have to just show up on their doorstep with like camera equipment and be like, "We're gonna sit down."
That
and
would
have a
be
chat."
okay. I
And
would
then
do
Rick
that.
would probably be better
Hey,
with it.
He's about experiential things, man.
Yes.
There's
Well, that's
this
okay.
is
For
this
sure.
is an experience here in this area.
Yeah.
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 Good point, Pete.
Yeah.
That's the smartest thing you've said all night.
It's
How about a show
interesting.
with him?
It's interesting. Like in his career, he took the opposite path. You know, like he was always like anti-media. Didn't want the camera. Didn't want the exposure. You
Yeah.
know. And when you look at the greatest anglers of all time, he's always in the. He's one or two,
Always.
or
Yeah.
you know. It's
yes,
just,
but
it's
he's
cool.
embraced social media more recently.
Well,
and
he
I
has
love
more
his
recently.
posts.
He has.
I love his.
I think
posts.
Melissa had a lot to do with that, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to call. I don't want to.
Well,
you know.
Yeah.
His
Well,
thoughts?
Rick's style. I mean, like he's not that kind of crazy outgoing. Like so the media never catered to that.
Yeah.
You know, but today people get to decide what they like.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So just putting Rick out there, people, you know, like Melissa's doing, you know, and
Yeah.
and they're doing together. It's allowing people to see Rick Clunn in a way that he's never ever been seen
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Because
Yeah.
he was under the, you know, what's going to get published in the magazine, you know, or
Right.
what's going to go in Bass Times, you know.
Yeah.
But now, you know, people are relating to him in a different way.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's very cool.
I think
Yeah,
so.
It's very cool. I'm so glad his picture's right there. I can look at him every time we're talking
There
about
he
him.
is.
We're only 15 minutes
Head of
short of
Clunn.
2 hours or 4 hours. So
Is that it?
Oh, my
well, let's go for 4.
keep going, Pete.
I got 5 more stories.
Thanks
We'll
for
save them for
coming
next
out.
time.
Thanks for coming out.
All right.
everybody.
It's been a great show. Thank you,
It
guys.
has.
Yeah,
Fun
Brian, you
one.
got something else?
When are you going to
The elites?
It continues to the very end. I can't end the fucking show.
The Open.
Without pressure here.
The U.S. Open.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
I can't believe you're going without me. I'm so
well,
upset.
come. There's still room.
It's 2 weeks away. I didn't
Did
know.
you really
Who
get your
cares?
boat completely squared away from the condition I saw it on Tuesday?
It is at the shop right now, and it has a deadline. Alex has a deadline on it. Shout out to Spring Garden Marina. It's in bad shape.
No. I mean, like your tackle. I
The
know
tackle?
I
Oh,
know
yeah.
the boat's in bad shape, but the tackle situation.
It took me 3 days. It took me 3 days.
Because
not
when I
3
saw
full
you on
days.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
damn,
It took me
son.
3 days.
What,
Took me.
what do you mean?
I would
what
say
happened?
it was a disaster.
He
It
had
was a
70.
disaster.
There were 75 rods. Every single piece of tackle
Well, I
that he
went-
owns was
coming
all
back
on the
from
deck of the
Thousand
boat.
Islands?
I went from Thousand Islands to Potomac, and I had 2 separate rods for each. And so I destroyed Thousand Islands equipment, threw it in the shop, went to Potomac, destroyed Potomac equipment, threw it in the boat. Then I combined all that and laid it out on the deck, and I was like, oh, I'm
Throw
screwed.
a match on it.
Yeah, I'm screwed.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you're preparing for a tournament in a place you've never been, right? So I'm like rigging based on general research.
I've
and-
been there.
Well, tell me about it.
It's another story. PTC.
Go
yeah,
with
but
it.
the rig has to go straight from there to Pickwick.
Right, and that's the other thing. So,
So
when
it's at Spring Garden now.
It's at Spring Garden now. The boat's at Spring Garden now. But when
Shout out
I
to Alex.
prepared, I had to do 2 sets of tackle again and fit it all on the boat. So I had to prepare for Meade and then Pickwick. Some of it was a crossover, but some of it was different, and I had to have it all ready.
Oh, man, my head is spinning.
I had to have 2 chips.
It's too much.
I have to have a West Coast chip. I have to have a Southern chip. Right? You have to have 2 mindsets.
You guys
It's
are
crazy.
taking. You guys are taking the camper. Somebody's taking the truck and boat to.
No camper, just truck and boat. We have a driver going out to Lake Mead, meeting us in Vegas.
Right.
And then we have a driver when that event's done, taking it from Lake Mead to Gunnersville for our half a spot event, and then from Gunnersville immediately straight to Pickwick to begin practice there for the Toyota Series. So it's going to be a very hectic couple weeks.
Oh my God.
October's going to be shot. Yeah.
Oh my
But don't worry, we're going to Vegas and we're getting hitched.
We are getting hitched. Elvis is
By
going to hitch us. By Elvis.
Yep, I got my Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, the
wig.
old Elvis.
What?
The old Elvis.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I have an
Under the
Elvis wig.
Vegas sign,
That's very
yeah.
exciting.
I did a baby powder blue tuxedo for my outfit.
Oh, so when you're out there for the Open,
Powder Blues.
do you have any open time to do a show?
I have.
Where you zoom in.
I have. So I have.
I already have guests that want to do it with you.
Really?
Yeah.
In fact, he's like, I got to make sandwiches.
Yeah.
We got.
Well,
I'm
when.
leaving. I'm leaving.
Well,
I'm getting married and leaving.
Yeah. So official practice starts Tuesday, Wednesday. So I have Tuesday off,
Wednesday, right.
and then I have official practices Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, Monday
Sunday's
tournament,
off for registration, and the
Monday
starts
tournament.
Monday.
Yeah, so I do have Sunday. I have Tuesday and Sunday off.
I think I think we should all go out as co-anglers.
You should.
In
It's
that
shared
tournament.
weight.
All right,
You
let's
should
go.
come out.
Just
Mike
go.
has a houseboat.
I have a houseboat.
What?
Dude, come out
Who did
and
the
hang
houseboat
out.
with?
What are the dates of this?
Yeah, because I thought Ish
2
was going to
weeks.
fish it, so I got a houseboat for the 2 of them, but Ish isn't.
Dude,
So
I have a
30
houseboat.
Is
Come
it the
out.
weekend
yourself.
Is it the weekend
Yeah.
of October 1st?
Did you have a
No,
house?
it's
No.
the weekend after.
Oh, I'm available.
Oh,
Come on,
you have
Pete,
a
let's go.
houseboat by yourself?
I have a houseboat by myself.
I wouldn't fit.
Wait,
cast
wait.
a line.
Wait a minute.
I know.
But there
I
he
know.
is.
It's tempting, but I can't do it.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. Ish didn't follow through on what he said he was going to do.
Oh, boy.
Surprising. Love you, Ish. Come on.
Big fan.
He'll never watch. He'll never know we blasted him all night long.
It's just got bigger problems than all
I
this.
love
He's got
that, man.
seals sinking his boat. So this is small potatoes.
Those seals get on the boat.
Did
I
you
seen
hear
that.
this?
No, I seen it before.
Oh,
on
it
other
happened to
boats.
Ish.
Yeah,
Wow.
what's the name of the Wally the Walrus?
Yeah,
or something?
Wally the Walrus sunk Ish's
Literally
boat.
sunk his saltwater boat.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
This is a true story.
it is a true story.
Just keep going.
So a giant walrus.
They
Sea
climb.
otter.
They go on the
Seal.
boat. To
Wait,
the
wait. So a
sun.
giant walrus of fate
Yeah,
attacked
Climb-
Ish's boat.
right.
Yeah,
because
like those
Ish-
sea otters are huge.
well, Ish's boat sunk, and when they pulled it up from the bottom, they couldn't.
This seal attacked it.
Well,
Said,
they
no.
couldn't figure it out
You need
because
to
it's
Bass boat?
saltwater boat.
Saltwater.
Okay. right.
with giant boat, like 30 plus footer with, twin or tri Yamahas on the back. They couldn't figure out why it sunk. Bilges working, plugs in. They pull it out from the bottom of the sea. Drain
Bottom
it.
of the sea.
Drain
like
it.
1,000 feet down.
They
1,000 fathoms.
They refloat it.
Yeah.
Everything's good. The only plausible explanation is seals, walrus, hopped on the back, and they're so fucking heavy that they get on the back of the boat and it just plunges it down to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, like Google it.
I'm like, Ish, for crying out loud, everyone has a camera now. Everyone does. Everybody's got a ring on their freaking house. This marina doesn't have a camera? No cameras. So no one really knows.
Wow.
But they're assuming.
But I guess it was like 6 others in the marina, and they saw Wally the Walrus.
I bet it was Dean Rojas.
It may have been Dean Rojas.
Yeah.
But can we stop for 1 second? Like,
it may have been Cliff.
who else's
Poche.
saltwater boat would be sunk? Only
Keith
Ish.
Poche.
Only Ish's boat would be sunk.
I know.
Well, maybe you
Wow.
should start freaking coming on the show for like a goddamn adult.
You think his juju would be better?
Maybe.
Like an adult.
Right, he was on for 5 minutes.
He had a hot date. We know where we lie in his priority list.
I say it.
5 minutes.
He's right there on my priority list.
Well, come on. He could have bragged to his hot date. He's on this big podcast.
Whatever, dude.
Big. We're huge. We gotta go.
It's not about that. It's about Mike.
Nah, it's all right.
Mike,
That's
it's
all
a
right.
great year.
It's all right.
It's a great
You had a
freaking
great year, too.
I had a good year.
No, you had a great
had
year.
an amazing year.
No, you had a great year.
No, you had a great
Are
year.
we gonna end this show?
No, we're never going to end this
Is
show.
anyone still watching?
I have no idea, but we got 10 more minutes to hit 4 hours.
Yeah, there's 24 people on the website.
See, there's still 24 people here.
57 on Facebook,
There's
and
still people
71 on YouTube.
There you have it. That's still over 100 people.
What is wrong with you people? Why are you still watching?
Because it's a Thursday night. There ain't shit going on
I just
anyway,
made those
and we're-
numbers
and-
up,
and
by the
it's
way.
fun. This is fun.
So there's really just 4 people.
No,
people.
really.
4 or
There's
70, it's all the same.
24, and then
couple.
How many do we have on Facebook?
Nah, we love all you guys.
49 on Facebook. I'm gonna make up the YouTube number, like 67 or so.
It's 100. Call it 100. High call.
Oh, man.
High call. All right, it's been a great show. Pete, Rizzo, Brian the Carpenter, Jake, Becky, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, our guest. Appreciate
night,
it.
everybody.
Have a good night. We'll
Thank
see you in the
you
next
so
Psych
much.
Live. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Hold on, I wasn't ready.
Is that Mark Menendez?
Wait a minute. Ish might pop back on.
Oh, wait.
What is that?
Wait, put
What
the wolf.
was that?